listening to that open, I just remembered the Eagles have not played since Friday, and we have to wait till Monday. I know the mini bye has been a positive for the Eagles in the past, but I'll be honest, I want to get that bad taste out of my mouth as soon as possible. Good morning, Johnny.
I hate the fact that we don't have a game.
Friday to Monday.
Sunday we're going to do a little. We're going to do a little casino and a little Flyers.
Oh, that's good. That's nice.
So that'll be fun.
Day.
So that'll be fun.
That'll be stress-free. Well,
that's stress-free.
Casino could be stressful, but I would imagine still not as stressful as watching the Philadelphia Eagles offense.
Yes. I think it'll be. How about this? I'm in control of everything that happens for the most part as far as the decision-making.
Yeah.
Which is far better than leaving it to Kevin Patullo.
Yeah, and if you're losing money, you can adapt and say, I'm going to leave this table or maybe cash out altogether, whereas Kevin Patullo has to continue to call plays throughout the course of the game and continue to fail doing it.
If Kevin Patullo's sitting at the blackjack table with me, I think he's saying he's sitting there with like a 9, and they're like, "Do you want to hit?" And he goes, "No, I'm gonna."
He's good.
No, I'm good
because he doesn't want to turn the cards over. He wants to be very careful.
I want to be very, very careful.
Nick's over his shoulder telling him not to do it. All right, enough of Kevin Patullo for now. I want to talk a lot about Jalen Hurts today. So. Yesterday, Johnny, I'm going for my hour-long walk, right, where I do a lot of thinking. It's a dangerous time of the day where I do a lot of thinking. But my thinking was interrupted yesterday.
How was it interrupted?
As I was walking, I got a text message from Nate Tennyson, who is one of the associate producers here, works a lot with Middays with Marks.
Okay. He just ran the marathon.
He's one of
those crazy runners.
He'll be at the Yards event Saturday.
Okay.
He wants to meet some people. So if you want to meet Nate, come on out Saturday.
You'll be able to tell Nate he's the one with the very radical haircut.
Exactly. So Nate texts me saying, "Hey, you're getting ripped on Unfiltered if you want to call in." I'm like, what did I do now?
What were you getting ripped for?
I thought it was about me saying that Ricky Patalico was the one that poked the holes in the cups. He keeps on denying it. I still believe that he has. I still believe he was the one that did it.
Wow.
But no, it was once again Bill Colarulo reacting to a clip on social media.
Where did he do his research this time or not?
No, he did the exact same mistake.
Bill must have, it's funny is maybe I understand now why he's a talk show host, because in court, I hope he did more research.
I would hope so.
Because a lot of times he has been very bad reacting to just clips and not doing his research on the full context.
But then again, a good lawyer stands by his client and stands by and will go, the feet are deep in the dirt, buried in the dirt.
Okay, well, who was his client in this one?
Once again, somehow we are only blaming Kevin Patullo.
Oh, would you stop with this crap?
And we have not cast any blame to anybody else.
Would you stop?
Which is once again incorrect. Do we talk more about Kevin Patullo than any other members of the Philadelphia Eagles offense?
Yes.
That is correct. That is accurate.
Because he stinks.
And he was reacting to the clip where we were talking about Jalen Hurts does not all of a sudden suck. There are two differences from last year. Right guard and offensive coordinator, right?
Yes.
And so I call in, we chit-chat a little bit. And then we start getting to the conversation, and he goes, "You do know it's not just changes of faces. It's also the offensive line is banged up, and there's this reason, and there's that reason."
I'm glad that Bill educates you on these this is great insight.
I'm glad that we've also said all of these things on our show
over and over again
on a daily basis. But what he did not know is that he was giving me content for today's show, not the debate.
Right.
I don't care about that stuff. Like, he's wrong, period. And, it's conversation over.
Right.
So Bill Colarulo, I don't even know if he realized he was doing it. We're going to have to get him on the air later because I want him to speak for himself. I never want to put words in his mouth.
No, we don't want to do that because we're going to actually, we'll let him fail on his own.
So we start talking about Jalen Hurts because, again, the clip that he reacted to was me and you saying he does not all of a sudden suck.
Correct.
And so I asked him, and Ricky, because Ricky was there as well, hey, during the summer, did you guys not have him as, top 5 quarterback or top 6 quarterback? And they're like, yeah, we had him around 5 or 6.
Okay, they did, yeah.
All right, so.
They had him, by the way, because I was a big listener to Unfiltered. They had him higher than we did.
Right.
Slightly. Just slightly, but they had him higher than we did.
So if you have him as, a top 5 quarterback, and now all of a sudden he's playing outside of the top 10, are we going to just blame him? Are we going to blame the collective? You name it. But take a listen to how Bill Colarulo was talking about the Eagles' offense, the success they've had in the past, and part of the reason why they're not successful this year.
Let me give you some numbers. Jalen Hurts has been a starting quarterback this is his 5th season. In 2021, they were 32nd in pass attempts. That's last in the NFL in pass attempts. They had the number 1 rushing offense. That's how they got to the playoffs. In 2022, they were 23rd in pass attempts. Even in Jalen Hurts' MVP caliber season, 23rd in pass attempts. They had a top 5 rushing offense. In 2023, as bad as things were, 21st in pass attempts. In fact, that's the highest they've finished with Jalen Hurts, a quarterback, by the way. But they had a top 8 rushing attack. Last year, on your way to the Super Bowl, last again in pass attempts, but the number 2 rushing offense. And this year, you're 29th in pass attempts. What's the difference? You're 22nd in rushing. The only difference is not just the coordinator. It's you don't have a run game. When we talk about Hurts, and you have these high expectations of Jalen Hurts, which we all have because we do give him credit when they win, unlike some other shows. But when you have now seen him for 5 seasons in a row, and they're always in the bottom of the NFL in pass attempts, I get there's a new coordinator. But when the run game's not working, when the offensive line can't open up holes like they used to, do you think that this team can win if you have Jalen Hurts throwing the ball 40 times a game? They've never done that before.
And I immediately said no, because that's why I thought they needed to run the football last year. But did it not almost sound like Bill was saying that the Eagles sometimes win in spite of Jalen Hurts?
Yes, it absolutely does.
Thank you. I'm glad you guys caught that too.
It absolutely does.
I am listening him doing this, and I'm going, oh, my God. Is he saying what I think he's saying?
He absolutely is, and there isn't a lawyer, and Bill being a lawyer, there isn't a lawyer in the world that wouldn't go, excuse me, Mr. Colarulo, can we redirect on this one? He's absolutely saying that.
I'm glad you guys caught that, too.
They are winning despite the quarterback? Because it certainly sounds like you don't think much of his talents.
We give him credit when they win.
And by the way, it's the idea is he goes, unlike other shows. What shows is he talking about?
I don't know.
Because, by the way, this show, if we're doing scoreboard stuff, Kincade and Salciunas has been so much more right about the Philadelphia Eagles this year than on Filter.
I don't have to do the peeing contest.
No, I am going to. You know what? I'm going to pull right up to the urinal and just unzip. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if we're doing a contest, we absolutely have been far more right. And I'm glad that Bill has wandered into the party late as far as understanding what it is. But now this constant meandering to, now let's make it not so bad for Kevin Petula. For God's sakes, just say it.
All right.
Just say it. They have the worst.
I did call him out on it.
They have the worst offense in the NFL.
At the end, I said, Bill, I just need to confirm. You did say you would change play callers like a week ago, right? And he said, yeah, I did.
Okay.
So I had to call him out on that, and then they hung up on me.
Oh, that changed.
But let's talk about Jalen Hurts, because that's Bill Colarulo giving you numbers saying, hey, they win when they run the ball well. They don't win when they throw the ball. It almost sounded like, and again, I don't want to put words in his mouth. We're going to have to call him later, and maybe we play that exact same clip, and I go, hey, can you, what you always do, John, you always say, expand on that.
Yeah, expand on that. I love that.
I want Bill to expand on that, because it almost sounds like he is saying the Eagles wins in spite of Jalen Hurts.
It does. And there was a back in the days at ESPN Radio before you were there, Scott Masteller put us all through, Mike and all of us, we had to go through this interviewing class, and it was like an interviewing seminar with one of the greatest interview coaches of all time, and that was one of his. Expand on that. Expand on that. When you hear somebody say something that you find intriguing, and you don't want to jump them, you don't want to, but you think they've stepped into a.
Yeah.
You expand on that.
Expand on that.
Yeah.
So I want people to chime in on this. First, we're not asking what is Bill doing, right? No, I want to know from you guys at 610-632-0975.
There may be a lot of people who agree completely with Bill on that.
Jay King, facts by Bill. Chris Miller, Bill is not lying. All right? That's our first two immediate responses.
He's in the Waffle House again. I'm telling you, Bill's a Southerner. Bill lives in the Waffle House.
I want to know from people, when you evaluate Jalen Hurts, how do you view Jalen Hurts? How much credit do you give him for the success of the Philadelphia Eagles over the years? And in Bill's defense, I'm going to read you a tweet that was posted on October 9th, which was the night the Eagles lost to the New York Giants. I've referenced it on this show before. I don't totally disagree with the tweet.
Okay.
But I wonder how much credit you guys give Jalen Hurts for the success of this football team, because it sounded like Mr. 2-6.
Oh, no, he was.
Well, it's when they run the football.
Oh, he's in the Waffle House, man.
610-632-0975. We want your reaction on that, and I'll read you this tweet coming up next. That makes a ton of sense to me. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
John Mark.
This hour of Kincade and Salciunas is presented by Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White, they're here for the pro.
It is 6:15 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. What did Bill Colarulo step in yesterday when he was trying to school me on, not giving enough credit to certain people and putting way too much blame on other people? And then he talks about how the Eagles have been winning when they run the football more. than when they throw the football, and it almost made it seem like they win in spite of Jalen Hurts. Now,
Almost?
again, I don't want to put words in his mouth, so what we're going to do at some point is get in touch with Mr. Colarulo, and then he's going to have to join us and talk about it.
Connor and I did not even hesitate.
I'm glad
And
that
both
you
of us-
guys caught it, too.
We made eye contact before you asked us the question. And I knew the question before he asked it. And I think you did too, Connor.
Yeah, it's just the numbers. I mean, it's undeniable that when you look at that, he was leading you down the path of Jalen Hurts throwing less.
If he was in
helps him win.
if he was in a court of law, all the things that Bill said, he would have been leading the jury to an argument of that the Eagles win despite Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
That's the point he was trying to make. And now I don't know if I don't know if he's going to go with Pickett today. I don't know if he's going to go
Tanner
with
McKee,
I don't know if he's going to
the
go
fence.
a picket fence. I don't know if he's going to go with a full security fence. If he's going to go whatever it's going to be.
We'll see.
Bill's going to come up with some line of defense because he stepped in it yesterday.
I just love this job because I know you guys didn't hear it. And I was like, you know what?
Oh, no, it's good.
I'm going to save this for 6:05. None of you guys heard it.
That's delicious.
I'm going to play it at 6:05, get your reaction. I'm glad that your reaction was exactly what I got.
And we looked at each other.
During the phone call yesterday.
We looked at it. Connor and I made eye contact before you asked us a question. We both heard it. And we're like, huh.
So how
That's
do you evaluate Jalen Hurts? How much credit does he get for the winning? So I want to read you a tweet that I brought up on the show a couple of times a few months ago. It was tweeted out October 9th.
Okay.
Around 10:50 at night. It was when the Eagles were playing the Thursday night game against the New York Giants.
Which was terrible.
That was the same day the Phillies got eliminated by the Dodgers. And this was a video of the pick six that Jalen Hurts threw that game to Cordell Flott.
Which was terrible.
It was a horrible pick six. So Grant Paulson, who does stuff in D.C.
Yes.
and does also like side stuff with NFL content.
It's pretty good.
There is no quarterback I have a harder time ranking or assessing than Jalen Hurts. My son asked me if he was good the other day, and my answer was 3 minutes long because it's so complicated.
So it was like a Nick Sirianni answer about Kevin Petula.
But I don't disagree with what he's saying. Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. All right, let's just start there. Jalen Hurts is not a bad quarterback.
You said good.
He's a good quarterback.
Okay, you said good. Yeah, okay.
I have always said on the show he does not overtake, when healthy, the Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lamar grouping, right? That's a tier of Mahomes tier of his own than those other three. And honestly, we got to stop disrespecting Matthew Stafford. He's got to be in it. Honestly, it should be a top 5 that are untouchable because Matthew Stafford continues to prove people wrong.
He's on the senior tour right now, but he's leading the senior tour.
Yeah, but you know what? The senior tour, we keep on thinking this is his last round. And then he goes out there, and he could very well win MVP this year. That game against Carolina might have hurt him a little bit, but
it definitely hurt.
But he could win MVP this year, Matthew Stafford.
I mean, you can't give it to Mahomes. He's on a 6-6 team.
But Mahomes is still
Josh Allen can't have
on top.
Josh Allen can't have it. He's had too many his pants performances.
But I think quarterbacks like 6 through 12 change every day, right? Or it's the new flavor of the week, flavor of the month. And right now, Jalen Hurts is not playing like the 6th or 7th best quarterback in the NFL. But he can. Like, we know that he can.
We know that he can. We've seen it. His 3 best games are the 3 biggest games he's ever played in his career.
And it's amazing. 2 of those games were in this past year's playoffs, the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. But in weeks 1 through 17, he was not. It's amazing.
No,
he is hard to evaluate. They won the football games last year by running the football. They won football games when they immediately took the ball out of his hand because early on, those first 4 weeks, he was throwing the ball, and it wasn't great. They go to the ground game, and the rest is history. They win every game after that except for the Commanders game where Jalen Hurts gets knocked out. But again, where Jalen Hurts gets knocked out. When Jalen Hurts exits the offense is not as good without him. So the ground game, the incredible ground game, because Kenny Pickett was in the game, opposing teams like the Commanders that day were able to stack the box. So Jalen Hurts is in this weird 6 through 12 range, and it changes every other week. So I don't think they win in spite of Jalen Hurts.
No, they don't win in spite of Jalen Hurts.
But I don't think Jalen Hurts is a guy that carries a team.
No, and I think it's really, really important that critically important that we look at this and say, in these discussions, it's December the 5th. We need to. It's important that Bill you, me, everybody, the audience needs to know. We need to pick sides. We need to know exactly where people stand on things. Because on these people, on these discussions, on these arguments, by now we should be able to have clear opinions on things. And honestly, listening to Bill's opinion on that and listening to Bill describe that to me, it was listening to a Kevin Petullo press conference. It was listening to a press conference from Nick Sirianni. There was a discussion, but there was nothing offered to say, definitively nail me down. Here is what I think. And that is why we got to get Bill to go on the record.
We're going to try
and
do that.
Finally speak his mind and say it.
How do you evaluate Jalen Hurts? He is tough to evaluate. One person could say all he does is win. Another person could say, well, he wins because of. Where do you fall on this? At 610-632-0975. We will check the text line coming up next. Also, we had Kurt Warner on yesterday, and it was great. He came to the defense of a lot of members, including the Eagles offense, when it works. Hear him talk about it, and then we'll ask again, what changed? It is Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The Eagles dealing with the criticism. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Birds are working their way through some struggles right now as they prepare for their Monday night matchup with the Chargers in L.A. The coordinators met with media yesterday, and Kevin Petullo, who has faced a lot of criticism this year and it's reached a fever pitch recently, talked about the factor that criticism plays.
You know the pressure's there, but we all accept it because we ultimately want to be at the highest part of our coaching career and continue to working through that, and this is part of it. It's a challenge, and so it's very unique and it's fun.
Well, watching the Eagles has not been fun recently. Hopefully they fix that on Monday night against the Chargers. There won't be reinforcements coming on the defensive side for the Birds, though. Darius Slay, who split with the Steelers earlier this week, was claimed by the Bills yesterday. Nick Sirianni meets with the media at 12:10 today. The Flyers lit the lamp 5 times in a win over the Sabres last night. At 15-8-3, they now sit in 3rd place in the Metro. They're off until Sunday. The Sixers are back on the court at home tonight as they host the Warriors. A 7 p.m. tip-off. You can hear that game live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Don't miss Andrew DeCecco joining us from the 8 o'clock hour till the end of the show today for the latest on the Birds. This update is brought to you by Electrical Workers Local 269 and the Electrical Training Alliance. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 269, NECA, and the Electrical Training Alliance can offer a career with no college debt. To learn more, go to IBEW269.com. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
And Salciunas, 97.5, the Fanatic. We evaluate Jalen Hurts today because our own Bill Colarulo was making it seem like, when they run the ball, they win. Interesting. It's like he's still coming to defense of Nick Sirianni. Oh, wow, shocker. Sirianni and Kevin Patullo, his guys, say they have the Sunday dinners together, Johnny.
I don't know how it is. It's just unbelievable.
All right, so yesterday we had Kurt Warner on, and it was fantastic, and he put us in our place depending on the topic, right? Me and Connor for saying the season's over, no chance of them winning a Super Bowl. He talked to you about the A.J. Brown stuff. It was great. I loved it. And he also talked a lot about the Eagles' offense and the struggles that they have right now. So yesterday we asked him more about, hey, what do you see with this offense? Like the lack of creativity or the stagnant offense, the predictability, which has been talked about a lot. This was Kurt Warner on the Eagles' offense.
They've been very successful doing what they do, and you could call it boring, and I understand why you think it's boring. They run, a lot of the same concepts they have for years, but they're good concepts, and they're concepts that are good when you have good players to go, hey, if I get one-on-one, my guy's going to win. And it simplifies the game for your quarterback. It simplifies the game for your team. But when you're not having success, that's when everybody stops and goes, well, why can't we get more creative? Why can't we do more things? But it's not always about doing more things. It's about doing them right, doing them better when you have the players that can win in those situations.
Now, Nick Sirianni has talked about that in the past, and I hated it after the 2022 season where he said, look, it's not about changing the offense. It's about improving on what we already have, right? And I thought, yeah, I get it, but just don't come out with the exact same game plan because the top-paid defensive coordinators in the NFL and the top defenses in the NFL will be able to figure that out. And eventually that happened. The Buffalo Bills, I still stand by, were the team that put out the blueprint. It was just Bosa with the 49ers that said it publicly. But if you look at what the Bills did that game and then the 49ers capitalized on it, and then that's when the collapse happened. And who knows, was the Cowboys' five-man front the blueprint to try to stop the Eagles, right, offensively? I don't know. We saw the Eagles do absolutely nothing offensively against the Bears the very next week on the Black Friday game. So I understand when Kurt Warner says, look, you don't have to do all these flashy things. You just have to keep on doing what works and get better at it. But at some point, in Bill's defense, when yesterday Bill was talking about how the offense isn't the same because maybe players lost a step or something like that, obviously the injuries to the offensive line, then you can't just do what's been working.
No, and the thing is that the problem I've got with it is that every single week we hear that there has been commitment to we're going to change something. And as I said to you, 7 different weeks.
Right.
We've heard Nick Sirianni, and I can prove it to you in the Eagles transcripts. Well, we're gonna turn over every rock. We're gonna self-evaluate. And they don't change a damn thing.
Right.
And to me, that tells me it's one of two things. Either you're arrogant and you think it's okay. What we're doing's okay, and I'm just saying blah, blah, blah to the press. Mm-hmm. We know better. We're smarter than them, so I'm just going to appease them. Or then when they get in the rooms, they don't know what to do.
So I'm going to ask you guys a question.
And I don't know what it is.
And I thought about this a lot after my call with Bill. All right, and I'm curious, if we have Bill on, I would like to ask him about it. And when we have Andrew DeCecco in today, he's going to be joining us for 2 hours today. I will ask him as well, but I want to start here. In the Super Bowl, what did the Kansas City Chiefs do? What was their number one thing that they wanted to
Stack
stop?
the box, take away Saquon.
Okay. What have we seen the majority of times through 12 weeks this season?
Stack the box, take away Saquon.
Why was the passing offense so good in the Super Bowl when the defenses are doing pretty much the exact same thing through 3 months this season and they can't do it now? Can somebody answer that question for me? Is it because Jalen all of a sudden sucks?
Well, the offensive line is not nearly the same.
Have we not heard about the pass blocking being better and improved?
The pass blocking is definitely better than the run blocking.
Sure.
But the pass blocking is not as good as it scored out last year.
Okay.
Well, in the Super Bowl last year, remember, between Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson, they had half a back.
Right. That's,
You're right.
I wonder, again, what has changed, right? So for the people that are now all of a sudden saying this is more of a Jalen Hurts problem, look, I'm not totally disagreeing with you. Like, Jalen was horrible on Friday, and I don't think he's played all that well this year. Like,
No.
I've been very consistent with that. I don't think he's been all that great this season for the Philadelphia Eagles. But I know that the defense in this Super Bowl, in one of the biggest beatdowns that we can remember in a big game, Jalen Hurts threw the ball just fine.
He did.
They were able to adjust to the Kansas City Chiefs doing whatever they could to stop Saquon Barkley in the ground game. I believe defenses are still game planning to stop Saquon Barkley. So why can't they throw the ball this year? Why? Is it lost a step? Is it concepts? What is it?
It's concepts. All you have to do, and seriously, if anyone has it, again, if you just look at last year compared to this year, the passing game looks nothing like last year's. It doesn't look like last year's passing game. It is rudimentary. I mean, the words that Dan Orlovsky has used in his film study of rudimentary, simple, just simplistic, all these words. I mean, it's over and over again. That's what it is at this point. That's what it is. Bottom line.
All right.
And and the people who keep fronting for it, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's about. I mean, it's terrible.
My only guess is maybe they feel like it is unfair that one person is catching the majority of the blame.
But how about
That's
this?
my guess.
How about this? The majority of the blame means if you're giving the blame pie
Yeah.
and you're cutting it into three different portions.
I don't think Patullo's getting 95% of the pie.
If Patullo gets 45% of that pie, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely fine with it.
Big chunk, man.
If Jalen Hurts gets 30% of the pie of it, I'm fine with it. By the way, if selfish A.J. Brown, and where I disagree with
Hall of Fame
directly
Kurt Warner.
with Kurt Warner, not on his what motivates A.J. Brown. I understand the idea of the motivation, but the idea of the constant use of social media and the subversiveness of it, and the fact that the Eagles offense, and I can point to it and prove it, and I did statistically, that you had two members of this offense heading to statistically greatest seasons ever of their careers, and A.J. Brown's selfishness has derailed that. Bottom line, derailed. There's no reason why all of a sudden they have went away from Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert. They were having huge years, except to appease the person who was continually making noise.
What do we got on the text line, Connor? Bill Colarulo made it sound like, we'll try to confirm that with him later, that sometimes they win, in spite of Jalen Hurts. What do we got on the text line?
Tucker checks in. He'll lead us off today, and he says Hurts wins even when he has little around him, like 2021. Smitty and Goddard were his main receivers. Swift, Gainwell, and Scott as running backs. Still made the playoffs. He's not perfect, but he's my QB. Go Birds.
Yes.
All right.
No, I love that answer. I'm thrilled still that Jalen Hurts is here. I'm thrilled that he's the quarterback of this team.
Yes.
Because I look around the league and I go, okay, I'm gonna figure I've seen enough data to know this can be fixed.
Yeah.
And he can win big when he has competent coaching. It can work. When he has Shane Steichen,
like the Super Bowl?
when he has Shane Steichen, when he has Kellen Moore, you can win Super Bowls, you can go to Super Bowls. When he has incompetent offensive coordinators, he doesn't. This is not hard math, guys.
All right,
it's not.
Coming up next, we'll check more text messages on this topic. When's an appropriate time to text Bill? He's got the little one, so he should be awake.
No, he should be up by now. Are you kidding me?
Well, he doesn't do anything at his house,
Exactly.
so he might be sleeping. Do the Eagles have a new starter on defense? And an update on a very short-lived free agent in the NFL. It is Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, let's talk about that FanDuel Sportsbook app because we got a big game tonight. Oh, my God.
And we got to stay up for it, too.
Every NFL Thursday is your chance to hit the jackpot on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge, because with FanDuel's Thursday Touchdown Jackpot, you can win a share of $2 million in bonus bets each week. They've been doing this all season long. It's been a very fun promotion. To get in on this Thursday's action, all you have to do is place an anytime touchdown score bet before the game kicks off. So maybe you think Jamison Williams scores a touchdown. Or maybe you want to go Jake Ferguson for the Dallas Cowboys because he'll have one catch like a week and it's always a touchdown. And if that bet hits, well, you'll get your anytime touchdown bet. But if that player scores the first or last touchdown of the game, not only will you win your anytime touchdown bet, you'll also win the share of bonus bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/Fanatic. That's FanDuel.com/Fanatic for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. You got to be 21 plus. Present in Pennsylvania. Opt-in. Must apply. Profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last touchdown pick. Bonus issued as non-trouble bonus bets that expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. It is 6:40 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. I'm curious, how many of you heard what we heard when that clip of Bill Colarulo was played at the beginning of the show? If you missed it, we'll play it for you again. Bill Colarulo, I was told by Nate Tennyson, APD, associate producer here at the station, saying, "Hey, you're getting ripped. You and Johnny. You wanna call in? All right, sure, I'll call in." And we were talking about how, we only blame Kevin Petullo. That's all. That's all we do on the show.
Well, what's sad is that I am such a big listener to Unfiltered.
Yeah.
I'm just disappointed because they're obviously not big listeners to us.
And that's fine.
And the thing is, I know Ricky listens.
Not everybody's
to
cup
us.
of tea.
I know Ricky listens to us, so I'm disappointed that Ricky.
Yeah, I'm surprised Ricky wouldn't push back.
That Ricky wouldn't go. That's not these guys. That's not what they do. I'm surprised that Ricky wouldn't be more vocal because I know Ricky listens.
Yeah, Ricky's a bit of a pot stirrer or a cup hole guy.
That could be.
That could be it too.
Okay, that could be.
So this was Bill yesterday, sort of explaining why the Eagles' offense has looked good in the past and not so much now.
Let me give you some numbers. Jalen Hurts has been a starting quarterback this is his 5th season. In 2021, they were 32nd in pass attempts. That's last in the NFL in pass attempts. They had the #1 rushing offense. That's how they got to the playoffs. In 2022, they were 23rd in pass attempts. Even in Jalen Hurts' MVP caliber season, 23rd in pass attempts. They had a top 5 rushing offense. In 2023, as bad as things were, 21st in pass attempts. In fact, that's the highest they finished with Jalen Hurts, a quarterback, by the way. But they had a top 8 rushing attack. Last year, on your way to the Super Bowl, last again in pass attempts, but the number 2 rushing offense. And this year, you're 29th in pass attempts. What's the difference? You're 22nd in rushing. The only difference is not just the coordinator. It's you don't have a run game. When we talk about Hurts, and you have these high expectations of Jalen Hurts, which we all have because we do give him credit when they win, unlike some other shows. But when you have now seen him for 5 seasons in a row, and they're always in the bottom of the NFL in pass attempts, I get there's a new coordinator. But when the run game's not working, when the offensive line can't open up holes like they used to, do you think that this team can win if you have Jalen Hurts throwing the ball 40 times a game? They've never done that before.
What is he talking about there?
I wonder what he means by it.
What does he mean by, unlike other shows, we give Jalen Hurts credit? For God's sake.
There's a lot of shows.
Like, what the hell is he talking about?
There's a lot of shows.
I'm telling you.
Hashtag Mike the Switch.
Could there be sleep deprived? Could he be sleep deprived? Could that be it?
I don't know.
Because I'm trying to figure this out.
We'll try to get in touch with him. Now, Connor,
I just want to nail Bill down to an opinion.
I'm
because
curious.
It seems like he is. Bill, if we don't have, I think the closest one is Allentown. But if our sales department isn't getting Waffle House involved with Bill's opinions, we got to get him the endorsement. And I love it. I love Waffle House, but Bill, really, it does fit.
What are the people saying on the text line when it comes to this? One, the conversation about how you evaluate Jalen Hurts, but 2, do people think Bill's saying that, Jalen's along for the ride?
Most of the commentary we've gotten so far is just on the Jalen Hurts stuff.
Okay.
So already I don't know how you can listen to that clip and not have the takeaway that Jalen Hurts is in question here.
Yes.
Yeah, like that's the first one he said
that
it yesterday.
sounds like that was the topic.
I just want to know. I want to know if other people heard that, because there are people coming to Bill's defense on YouTube saying, "Well, that was just a clip," which is why he brought me up on the air, by the way, because he only reacted to a clip. What do we got on the text line?
Oh, so we're at a clip off. All right. Josh from Westchester says, I'm a Washington fan. And it's hard to say Jalen doesn't influence winning. Head-to-head against the top 5 quarterbacks, Jalen has only 1 regular season loss to Mahomes back in 2022. The game against the Bills in 2023 in overtime, he won the game for the Eagles. Can people say in the category of QB tangibles he's not top 10? Sure. But he is the best winner at the QB position in the game.
Is that Westchester?
Josh in Westchester.
Yeah, Josh. That's why he's smart. Probably spends a lot of time in the Burrows.
If he was smart, he wouldn't be a Commanders fan.
Good job.
But
still, though, that's a smart man, though. He understands it. And you know what, though? That's an objective fan, too.
All right, you can continue to climb in at 610-632-0975. All right, Vic Fangio had his press conference yesterday. And interesting, started talking about another safety on the roster whose practice window opened up earlier this week.
And 3, he's an experienced safety. He's got good instincts, got good feel for the game. We'll have to get a feel and a barometer about where he's at, missing the last 4 or 5 weeks, whatever it was, where he couldn't practice anyway.
He was talking about Marcus Epps, and then there were some reporters doing some sniffing around, and there's a chance that Marcus Epps could potentially start for this team. Drew McCoop is done for the regular season, right?
Correct.
If he comes back, it will be for the playoffs. So right now, your safety tandem, before Marcus Epps returns to the playing field, it's Reed Blankenship and Sidney Brown, which is a duo that I don't like.
Are you? I don't think there's a lot of people going to.
I'm not a fan of the.
I don't think there's
there are no Hall & Oates. All right.
I don't think there's a lot of people that are going to really argue with you. You're not taking a really unpopular stance here.
And I have said that I don't think Reed Blankenship is a terrible football player. I just think depending on who his partner is, it's not that great. And I've seen the Sidney Brown partnership, and it has not worked.
You've seen it. It doesn't work. No, it does not work.
I've seen it work with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, right? Like I've seen Reed Blankenship be a better safety with the other safety next to him, depending on who it is. And that's the point I've been trying to make to you guys for years, and you guys mock me for.
It's okay you don't like him.
It's all right that you hate him.
I'm curious how it looks. Reed Blankenship with Marcus Epps, who many moons ago was actually a pretty damn good player with the Eagles. He was like underrated, right? Nobody was calling him Brian Dawkins or anything like that. Underrated safety for the Eagles. And then he got paid by the Raiders, and he was not great with the Raiders. And now he's made his return, and he got hurt right away. Like, I think he played in mop-up role in a game, and he got hurt in the mop-up role. And you're like, oh, well, there goes that experiment. Like, that's not going to work out. There's a chance he ends up starting for this football team.
Well, I am willing to, again, it's one of those things where I don't know what he's got, but I'm willing to squeeze that lemon.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Worth a shot.
No, I mean, it's absolutely worth it because what I've seen is not adequate. What I've seen is not good enough.
No.
So give me something else.
And we're also in the trust Vic Fangio category still, where if he puts somebody out there, we believe that that's the right choice.
Absolutely. By the way, Darius Slay claimed not by the Eagles or the Lions. He was claimed by the Buffalo Bills.
Well, he was. The claim was there for the Eagles were going to claim him.
Yes, they put in a claim for
the
him.
Buffalo Bills got him first.
Right, Bills were ahead of them. So
and the Lions would have gotten him before the Eagles also.
Right.
So there was two teams that he wasn't going to get here, and so even if he wasn't going to get to the Eagles under any circumstances, it appears.
Right now, interesting because the Bills need secondary. The Bills' defense is abysmal.
They're terrible.
So that's actually not a bad pickup for a let's see what this guy's got, right? That's all I wanted the Eagles to do. I didn't think he was going to walk in here and beat Darius Slay 5 years ago, but maybe you get something better than Adoree Jackson in this current version of Darius Slay. But he goes to Buffalo, which is actually not a bad idea on their part because they need help in the secondary.
They do desperately.
They desperately do. But so do the Detroit Lions. I mean, everybody's hurt on the Lions.
How can we – and it's more something that we'll talk about this offseason, but – was this a really bad offseason for Howie Roseman?
It wasn't spectacular.
No, I'm going to put the bad word on it. Was this a bad offseason for Howie Roseman? Yeah, but we
were told by everybody this offseason kind of needed to happen to start down the road stuff.
Now, I'm not talking about the big money guys.
Right.
I'm not talking about losing Sweat to Arizona. I'm not talking about losing Milton Williams to New England. Those things I have no issue with. But the Isaiah Rodgers, there is Slay. There's a lot that.
That was the worst one.
The offensive line. Well, no, you had to go. You let Fred Johnson walk for a cup of coffee, and then you have to trade to get him back because you're so desperate for him. And without Fred Johnson right now, you'd be screwed.
Yeah.
There was wasn't a great offseason.
No, not great. Not great.
No.
All right, coming up next. We thought that Darius Slay was destined to land in one of two places, either the Eagles or the Lions.
Yep.
The Lions play tonight. And John Kincade is saying this could be the biggest game of the year for the Eagles. And they'll be on their couches. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Petula facing questions. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are working through some struggles, to put it lightly, as they prepare for their Monday night matchup with the Chargers in L.A. The coordinators met with media yesterday, and Kevin Petula, who has faced a lot of criticism this year, talked about his duties with the team not changing.
Nick has said you're still calling plays. In terms of the way that you approach that role and the game planning of it, any of the responsibilities that you do or maybe delegate, have you changed any of those things?
No, I'm still calling the plays.
Short answer, strong answer. Kevin Petula is not going anywhere right now, and there won't be reinforcements coming on the defensive side of the ball either. Darius Slay, who split with the Steelers earlier this week, was claimed by the Buffalo Bills yesterday. Nick Sirianni will meet with the media coming up today at 12:10. Flyers scored 5 times in a win over the Sabres last night, a 5-2 final. At 15-8-3, they're now sitting in third place in the Metro. They're off until Sunday, but having a great start to their season. Sixers are back on the court at home as they host the Warriors tonight at 7 p.m. tip-off. You can hear that game live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Andrew DeCecco joins us coming up from the 8 o'clock hour till the end of the show. This update is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Tullamore Dew, when it's game time, it's Tully time. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, 6:55 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Get back to our text line here, coming in a little bit. Quick little program teasers here for you. 7:25. John Kincade, I don't know if your outlook on the team and the season has changed, but yesterday during our post-show headline show that we do every single day on YouTube, John asked me a question about the Eagles, or you made a statement about the Eagles, and I quickly chimed in as to why, and it blew your mind.
No, it absolutely blew my mind, and it's not something that you haven't spoken of before, so people will have heard you sort of speak of it before, but you elaborated on something, and it blew my mind.
And
it honestly, it may have been the smartest thing you've ever heard Andrew ever say.
I appreciate that. That's always a step in the right direction. Can only go downhill from here.
Exactly.
But we'll play you the clip from post-show headlines because John's we can't recreate that reaction.
No, I was blown away by it because I honestly, when someone says something in this business, when you say something, when Connor says something, if I hear something from Unfiltered or from Middays with Marks that I haven't even thought of, I always will say it. I'll go, I never, ever thought of that as being an option. I think I never took the opinion that you offered yesterday to that degree. I had sort of thought of it, but you took it to a degree that I never even thought of.
Connor, you listened to it because you recorded it. Without getting into it, what did you make of it?
Yeah, I think it's a smart call.
Wow, I think got the stamp of approval from CT18.
Yeah, and I think that if it is, I think the audience is going to have some strong reaction to it.
Yeah, or I don't think we're all nuts. And
no. I
that
think
happens too.
Well, that happens a lot.
And then also our man Andrew DeCecco in studio today for 2 hours. Obviously, we'll talk about the Eagles game against the Bears some more. We'll talk Eagles Chargers. I'm also going to put you guys to the test with a little stump the DeCecco. I have a game that people can play alongside at home with. You guys don't even know what the game is.
Stump the DeCecco.
You'll find out around 8 o'clock.
Not much would ever stump the DeCecco.
No. But it's going to be John and Connor verse.
Oh, please. The DeCecco may just mop
we're
the
cooking
floor
him.
with us. Okay, we're going to try our best, but
what do we got on the text line? And then we got to talk a little bit about tonight's game that could either. John Kincade said in our promo yesterday it might be the biggest game of the season for the Eagles, and they're not even playing. What do we got on the text line?
This text are a little bit of a long one here, but they say Hurts is so hard to evaluate because he's supposed to be the franchise quarterback, and we attempt to evaluate him as the traditional franchise quarterback. I can't explain the fact that when it's a big game, he plays out of his mind, but when you look at regular seasons outside of the playoffs last year, he's mediocre or good. I'm starting to wonder if the playoffs were the anomaly. Don't forget he came into last year as this is a prove-it year, and he didn't have a great season until the playoffs.
He's had 2 prove-it years already in 5 seasons.
Connor, can you point to the beginning of that text again, though? He goes, he's supposed to be the franchise quarterback?
Yeah.
Is that what it says?
Yes.
Jalen Hurts has won a Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts has been to 2 Super Bowls. Jalen Hurts is the Super Bowl MVP. It's not that he's supposed to be the franchise quarterback.
I think
he is the franchise quarterback.
I'm going to guess that the texter is saying something to the extent of.
Come on now.
Hold on.
Yeah, I understand what the guy's saying.
When you say Kansas City Chiefs,
Patrick Mahomes.
when you say Buffalo Bills,
Josh
you say.
Allen.
When you say Baltimore
Philadelphia,
Ravens,
when you say Philadelphia Eagles, if you don't say Jalen Hurts, you're nonsensical.
I don't think he's the first name I think
We've
of.
been over this.
Who do you think of?
Offensive line?
Offensive line, Saquon, Howie.
This offensive line, I will tell you right now, this offensive line might be the biggest villain of this team this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but
It
we're talking about who you think of as leading the team.
Yeah.
And
Right, well, I'm going to tell you the biggest anchor on this team right now may be the offensive
Correct.
line.
Yeah, right now.
But we're talking perception.
I get
Well,
what
no,
the
the perception's got to be, hey, you know what? You can talk about perceptions all you want. I want to talk about reality. The Eagles' offensive line, where nothing, Jeff Stoutland gets nothing but bouquets in this town, and for good reason. He has done an amazing job since he's been here. This year, this offensive line has done a lousy job.
Yeah.
Lousy. But now, there are reasons for it. Some of it injury-related. But otherwise, how about undisciplined play? Undisciplined play
it's been
is
bad.
not having to do with injury. It's undisciplined.
They could very well tie their amount of penalties from last season on Monday night. They're that close to it. But again, that texter kind of echoes what the tweet from October 9th. Grant Paulson does radio in D.C.
He's pretty good, too. I like him.
Grant put this tweet out the night the Eagles lost to the Giants. There is no quarterback I have a harder time ranking or assessing than Jalen Hurts. My son asked me if he was good the other day, and my answer was 3 minutes long. It was so complicated.
And Grant is not a Hurts basher.
No.
So don't look at this as a Washington guy trying to
No, he does radio in D.C., but he's also like an NFL guy.
He is not trying to bash Hurts by that.
No.
That is not
But
what
I
his
totally
act
understand what he's saying. Like, it's hard to say, like, he's a winner.
Well,
right? He uplifts his game in the most important. Like, there are quarterbacks that are great regular season quarterbacks, and then they poop themselves in the playoffs.
I'm going to tell you it's great. If you have a fantasy quarterback and you got Joe Burrow, it's great. If you want to win big games, Joe Burrow's not your quarterback. If you want to win big games, it has not been. Josh Allen has not done it like Jalen Hurts. Is that Josh Allen can put up great numbers, and he does. His team has let him down, too, in many ways.
Well, yeah.
But the thing is this. What I know is when Jalen Hurts has a competent offensive coordinator, he is a really, really good quarterback.
Yeah, here's the problem. Who is the quarterback that plays in the same style or that occupies the same space in the current NFL as Jalen Hurts? Who's in the Jalen Hurts typecast?
If you're gonna say the name that I think you're gonna say,
I'm gonna say nobody.
Brock
Well,
Purdy.
no, I thought you were gonna say Lamar because I've heard people say that, and I'm like,
Lamar's
Lamar
a multi-time MVP.
Lamar Jackson is a.
I thought you were going to say Brock Purdy.
Yeah, but I'm going to say this: Lamar Jackson can't win a big game to save his life,
Right?
And Lamar Jackson poops himself in big opportunities where Jalen Hurts has ice water in his veins.
Yes, Jalen Hurts is the only quarterback of his type in the current NFL. Every other guy that's up there has the numbers. Every other guy up there has the crazy talent in some facet of the game, has an MVP to their name. Jalen Hurts doesn't, and there's no other quarterback that wins like him. That's why I think it's so tough for him to evaluate because you can't compare him to anybody.
Well, the thing is, I would ask people, do you want the numbers? Do numbers mean anything to you? Like it's the people in this town that celebrate, well, Joel Embiid got an MVP, and I say to you, whoop the freaking do! That does nothing for me as a fan. It does nothing. It means nothing. I am a fan of the Philadelphia 76ers. A player winning an MVP does nothing for me. I want my team to win. I want the team to win. Jalen Hurts wins. I don't care if Lamar has multiple MVPs. Whoop the freaking do.
But the question is, do they win in spite of Jalen Hurts? Because again,
no, they don't win.
Bill Colarulo made it kind of sound that way.
Yeah, well, he may have made it sound that way. No, the Philadelphia Eagles have not won despite Jalen Hurts. He has arguably been the best player on the field in the 3 biggest games the Eagles have played in his tenure.
But the next person will say, yeah, they got there because of.
Okay. And then they get to the biggest games, and Jalen Hurts is their best player.
Yeah.
So stop it. Stop it,
I'm
folks.
with you, Johnny.
So
You're
why
listening to
can't he-
97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, Power and Possible.
It's the video game people. It's the stats people. It's the people playing. It's the people playing fantasy football.
Not necessarily. I mean, Jalen in the Super Bowl put up ridiculous numbers. So if somebody sees that and says, why can't he do that more often in the regular season?
Right, because he was bad against the Bears.
Because he doesn't. How about this? He does not have Kellen Moore.
Okay,
he doesn't have Shane Steichen, and he doesn't have an offensive line that's playing well.
Even in 2024, when he did have Kellen Moore, he didn't do that in the regular season. He didn't do that really at all. The Pittsburgh game was the only one.
They had to run the football.
So that's the thing.
They chose to run the football. They gave up on running the football last year because they showed at the end of the year when they wanted to throw the football, they couldn't. They threw it, and they threw it at will, and they threw it great.
They chose
just
to run the
gave up
football
on
because it was the better.
Correct. It was the
asset
path
of their offense.
It was the path of. And by the way, I fully applaud it.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to see. All right, tonight the Eagles aren't playing, but it could be the biggest game of the year for them.
I think
that's what you said, Johnny.
I think it is. I think it's the biggest game of the year because tomorrow morning, if we walk in here and the Dallas Cowboys have beaten the Detroit Lions.
After beating the Chiefs and Eagles in previous weeks.
Sphincters are tight.
Cowboys in Detroit.
It's going to be Cowboys in Detroit tonight. So if the Cowboys win tonight, they will close to within 1 game of the Eagles, and the Eagles will then play the Chargers Monday night, and it will become a must-win game. It would become a must-win game because if you would lose to the Chargers, you would be up by a half game on the Cowboys with 4 to play. The Eagles would then have the Raiders, 2 with the Commanders, and at
And
the
that
Bills.
Bills, yeah.
The Cowboys would have the Vikings, the Chargers at home, at the Commanders and the Giants.
So
I
we're
gotta say,
saying bite
that
that
Bills game-
kneecap, Dan.
I'm telling you,
Go Lions.
these next two games, the next two games may very well determine this. And so tonight, if the Lions win, game over. Game over. Because I do believe it will be over. But the angst that will be felt in this city.
Oh, it would be. We would feel it tomorrow.
And you know what? You would feel it, and it would be very much well recognized as
it's
deserved.
3 straight wins. And again, the Eagles had the chance. They had the chance when they were up 21-0.
Yes, but
They
you
had the chance to put maybe not the final nail in the coffin for the Cowboys
no,
season.
it would have been.
But it would have been pretty shut tight. You know?
They wouldn't have been eligible to win the NFC East.
Right.
So I think the final nail in the coffin would have been there because the Cowboys are not going to the playoffs as a wild card. They're going only as the NFC East champions. So you had the chance up 21-0, and I'm telling you, here's what scares me: that if they beat Detroit tonight, the storybook season is sort of sitting there.
The momentum shift.
No, I'm saying to you, the storybook of the Cowboys potentially putting something together that is magical is sitting there on the table for them. It really is. Because
imagine that gauntlet going 3-0
in that
if
nobody,
you go Eagles, Chiefs, Lions.
that nobody would have ever expected. And to me, tonight, you stay up, everybody. You stay up.
Yeah.
And we root like hell. Like hell.
Let's go Lions, baby.
And if anybody says to you, oh, I'm not scared. If you're not scared after what you've seen of the Eagles recently, you are just false bravado.
By the way, Amon-Ra St. Brown listed as questionable.
Questionable.
So not out. Still questionable for tonight's game. The Lions are 3-point favorites.
The Lions are, by the way, that
They need to win.
no.
I think the Lions are honestly more desperate than the Cowboys.
I think they're at home, too.
Yeah.
It's an elimination game, I believe, for one of these teams.
Yeah, Lions are 7-5. They fall 7-6 if they lose this game.
Whoever loses this game, to me, is out. So, got to win the night.
All right, coming up next, during this day where we're talking a lot about Jalen Hurts and how you evaluate him, could the Eagles help him out with one simple change? The Eagles' defensive coordinator spoke on what makes defending an offense difficult. Hopefully, Nick and Kevin were listening. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Unfiltered with Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
7 a.m. hour is brought to you by the BetParks online casino and sportsbook app. Live bet sports on the BetParks app. Play all your favorite casino games. There's always another way to win on the BetParks online casino and sportsbook. Got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It is 7:12 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Talking a lot about Jalen Hurts today because yesterday when I joined our friends at Unfiltered, Bill Colarulo made it seem like, hey, they win when they run the football and they don't have Jalen Hurts throw the football. That's how it came off. We're going to try to hear from him. I texted him at 6:38 this morning. Hey, whenever you're awake, take your time. Need you for 5 minutes. Still no response.
And he wouldn't be ducking us.
Or he's trying to prepare himself. That could be it, too. Because
That
he
could
knows that we're not just calling him to say, hey, how you doing, buddy?
That's why you got to send the Trojan producer. Say, hey, Bill, how you doing, buddy? I would never set you up.
Do you know where he lives?
No.
right.
No, I didn't mean send me, actually.
Oh, well, I thought that's...
No, I meant text him.
I mean, come on now.
I'm busy.
I thought you were going to go
I'm
and
hitting the buttons
hide,
back here.
hide in a horse or something. I thought that's what you were
If the
getting
show
at.
needs me to, I would hide in a
Wow,
horse
that's
for you
very
guys.
nice of you, Connor. All right, so yesterday, Vic Fangio, it was a really interesting press conference because it was about the state of the Eagles' defense, obviously after one of the worst games for the Eagles' defense in quite some time, especially on the ground. But they're playing an interesting team Monday night against the Chargers. By the way, I have a topic for when DeCecco comes in that I can't wait to get into. Can't wait about this Chargers team.
Okay.
But one of the things that the Chargers do a lot is they're under center a lot. It's a Harbaugh thing. They run the football.
Always has been.
Right? They throw out of it. And here's Vic Fangio talking about the difficulties of trying to defend that.
Well, I think anytime you're under center, it does help some of your play pass game as far as the defense diagnosing it or not. When they're in the gun, it's a little bit easier, but not significantly. Just being under center, I think, puts a little bit more indecision for the defense.
So we have talked about this in the past. That, I mean, you celebrated when Kellen Moore got hired, just from a video and OTAs that they were just practicing some reps. Jalen taking snaps under center.
Correct.
They've done it a little bit more recently.
A little bit.
But it looks like when Cam Jurgens came back, they went right back to the gun again.
Correct. Because I don't know.
So my question, when Nick talks about evaluating everything, right? Now, look, maybe Jalen does not like it, and you want your players to be as comfortable as possible. Maybe Jalen doesn't like it. I don't know. Maybe he sees more of the defense when he's in shotgun. But if the defensive coordinator is talking about how much more difficult it can be when teams are so consistent at throwing from under the center, why wouldn't the Eagles listen to the defensive coordinator and say, maybe we can do something?
Did you ever listen to the Manning cast? You're not a Manning cast. Now, the thing is I know Connor's going to listen to the cartoon broadcast on Monday night.
I'm going Monster Cast, baby.
But like the Manning cast, if you listen to that, is Peyton talks about the fact that Peyton enjoyed shotgun a lot. Mm-hmm. Like really enjoyed shotgun a lot for being able to observe the field and everything like that. And his quick release, being able, he wasn't getting touched.
He was also a different cat. He ran that offense.
Right, and he did. Oh, yeah, and he literally, Bill, I can't think of the old man's name.
Colarulo.
But he called the offense. He let him pretty much call his offense.
It might be that must have been the easiest job in the world.
But,
hey, Peyton, go out there and make something happen.
He went to the line with 3 plays every time, 3 options every time, and got to call one. It was awesome. But when he talks about it, he always says, the smarter your quarterback is, the more times they're going to be on the center.
He had Tom Moore.
Tom Moore.
And he also had Jim Bob Cooter.
It's Tom Moore.
Oh,
not
shout out Jim Bob.
Well, Jim Bob was not. I interviewed him a few times back in his college days. He's not going to be on Jeopardy.
Could you imagine being Tom Moore?
Jim Bob.
Like
Tom Moore was a great old man football coach.
No,
awesome.
I'm just saying, all right, go ahead, Payne. Dude.
No, that wasn't it though. Tom Moore was really the guy who. The drawing it all up during the week and everything.
Yeah.
And then Peyton said it was like a Chinese menu. He would go in and go, I like that you drew up. I like that. 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 And then Moore was like, good. He had no ego and was like, great.
Yeah, whatever.
We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do that.
Meanwhile, we're trying to win football games with Tom Less.
But even Peyton has said it this year on the Manningcast. he believes the higher the IQ of the quarterback, the more times they're willing to be under center. That the more a quarterback needs thing, and then they joked about the fact is how much Peyton loved being in shotgun, and he enjoyed it. But he goes, the higher IQ quarterback is under center more.
By the way, Tom Moore, 87 years young.
He was freaking brilliant.
In August of 2019, those are Brady days. Moore was the offensive consultant for the Bucks.
He was brilliant, man.
He helped them win a Super Bowl.
He was brilliant, that old man. I mean, he was great. And I say old man fondly because he was so brilliant and unbelievable.
He's also a member of the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame.
I didn't know that. I didn't know he's a Pennsylvania guy.
Because of his time with the Steelers.
Oh, okay.
So he's not from.
That's not really Pennsylvania. Come on.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's from PA. He was born in Owatonna, Minnesota.
Why?
Pennsylvania ends outside of the surrounding counties of Philadelphia. We all know this.
Yeah, you guys
believe
big
that?
Owatonna fans?
Owatonna, yeah.
Because I know you guys.
I don't even know what Owatonna
Vikings
is.
Fans. Where's Owatonna at?
I don't know.
Oh,
dude.
I didn't know where Owatonna is.
That's the home of Tom Moore.
I
There's
barely
probably,
know where
there's
I am
probably a
half the
plaque.
time.
I thought
There's probably
Owatonna
a
was
plaque of
something
him there.
if you didn't wear sunscreen or something. Didn't know what it was.
Population 26,000 people. There's definitely a Tom Moore statue in Owatonna.
In Owatonna?
There has to be.
Right outside.
I can't imagine there's much more.
I guarantee you there's
Respectfully.
I guarantee you there's a great diner.
Probably.
There's a great diner.
All right, coming up next, we'll check some of our text messages. But also, I made John Kincade rethink everything
You did.
when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles.
And I literally jaw dropped and applauded my partner.
In case you guys don't know what post-show headlines is, I'll explain what it is coming up next, because I know we always have a new audience. It's something that we do after the show every day on the Fanatics YouTube. I'll explain more coming up next. But John loved it so much, he said, use this for the show tomorrow. And we want to play the actual audio from it because
Yes.
his reaction, you can't recreate it. All right? And then we'll talk to you about it.
I wonder if people are going to go, duh, or whether they're going to say, okay, I
Or they'll
think
probably
that
say,
is.
Andrew, put the pen down. Like, it could be one of those, too. It is Kincade and Salciunas on this Thursday morning, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, the holidays are here, and I want you to know that your friends at Wawa have got you covered. They've already got you covered every day, right? You're always pulling into your local Wawa, and you're running in and you're getting whatever you need to keep your motor running. Well, Wawa also wants you to take care of the Wawa fan in your life. How about picking up Wawa gift cards for the Wawa fan? Or top brands like Roblox and Sephora and Visa, Amazon, and more. These are the gifts that don't need wrapping. They're perfect for teachers and delivery drivers, coworkers, or even your family gift swap. You just throw them in a little card. You say, thank you very much. I really appreciate all you did for me and my family all year long. You can browse all the gift cards that are available. They're right there. They're on the rack, right by the register, right at your favorite Wawa. Or if you got somebody that you're not going to be able to see before the holidays, you choose the digital gift cards. You send them near or far. Just visit Wawa.com. See all the choices. There's bound to be a perfect gift for everyone on the list. You choose the design you want. You enter the amount. You write a message. You hit send, and your gift card will be on the way. And somebody's holiday is going to be brighter. You know anybody in Florida or even Georgia? How about sending them down there? They're going to love them. Holiday shopping's made easy when you lean on your friends from Wawa. They're your one-stop gift card shop because they're always your one-stop shop anyway. You're going into Wawa every day anyway. So see the store for details because everyone knows you got to have a Wawa.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Patullo's staying resilient. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are working through some struggles right now as they get ready for their Monday night matchup with the Chargers in L.A. They've lost 2 straight, and Kevin Patullo has been facing a lot of criticism this year with his offensive play calling duties. Well, he talked about that yesterday when meeting with media.
You know the pressure's there, but we all accept it because we ultimately want to be at the highest part of our coaching career and continue to working through that. And this is part of it. It's a challenge, and so it's very unique and it's fun.
Gotta imagine it's been a tough spot for him the past couple of weeks, but there won't be reinforcements coming on offense or the defensive side. Darius Slay, who split with the Steelers, was claimed by the Bills yesterday, so he will not be an Eagle again. Nick Sirianni meets with the media today at 12:10. Flyers, 5 goals last night in a win over the Sabres. They lit the lamp a lot. 15-8-3 is their record now, and that's good enough for 3rd place in the Metro. They're off until Sunday. Sixers are back on the court at home as they host the Warriors tonight. 7 p.m. tip-off for that game, and you can hear it live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. You can also hear Andrew DeCecco live coming up starting in the 8 o'clock hour. He'll be with us for the remainder of the show. This update is brought to you by Super Sure. Do you own a small business? You need to hear this. A seismic shift is coming. It's time to get super sure. Not kind of sure, not pretty sure, but super sure. Coming soon. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Connor Tom's getting some love on social media from our man Alfie. Big game for Alfie tonight. His Lions. Alfie says,
Alfie is a dedicated Lions fan. Too.
I don't know why nobody acknowledges your cheesy one-liner dad jokes. Tom Less was fantastic, and you got unnecessary crickets. I did say that wasn't bad.
No. Don't you backhand compliment me now.
I said that wasn't bad.
Why would Tom Less? Why would anyone make a joke about Tom Moore?
Well,
that's what I don't get.
He said they have Tom Moore, we have Tom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
it was good, and I was like, let's go.
Okay, well, that's good.
What did you want me to do? Belly laugh?
Absolutely. I want you to come in here, pat me on the back, and say, "Great joke." We'll pause the show for it next time.
No, I gave you. I gave you. Yeah, it was good.
No, that's good, Connor.
Somebody
I'm sorry I
appreciates
missed that.
I listened to you.
See, Alfie's bright.
I just didn't belly laugh like Alfie, apparently. My God.
I need you to sell it more. Theater of the mind. Make me sound funny.
No, I don't think I could fake that much. All right, give us a couple text messages. Our question is, how do you evaluate Jalen Hurts? We have not heard from Bill Colarulo yet, who made it seem like...
Okay, he's up. This is such ridiculousness.
Well, maybe he's at the gym with Coach Carter. You never know.
He's at the gym.
He's got to wear his tight shirts,
Yes.
so that people can see the guns.
Coach Carter.
What do we got on the text line? We'll hopefully get Bill on. We'll play the clip again when Bill's like, yeah, the Eagles have only won when Jalen doesn't throw the ball that much. What do we got on the text line?
I just got to filter through all these texts how funny I am. This texter says, Bill is
this is what I'm talking about. Like, no. Boom.
John liked that one.
I did like that one.
This texter says, Bill is right on this and laid out his argument with facts. Jalen has taken over, 4 games in his career as an Eagle. He makes up half the salary cap. It just so happens that 2 of those games were 2 of the biggest games in team history.
Well, those are pretty good 4 games.
He does not, yeah. It just so happens that unlike the quarterbacks that people love to compare him to, who don't show up in big games, Jalen balls out in big games. All these guys that people like, if I hear one more thing about Joe freaking Burrow, I'm going to vomit.
Well, he's hurt all the time.
Oh, yes. Well, that's great. If I hear one more thing about all these great quarterbacks that have the great stats, boy, their stats. Yeah, it's great. Hope your fantasy team's doing well. You know what?
I did pick up Joe Burrow.
My reality team has been in 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls, and I was at a freaking parade on Valentine's Day. Now, you could enjoy your stats. You could tell me about Lamar Jackson. Ask some Ravens fans how much they're celebrating Lamar's MVPs. It doesn't keep them warm at night in January, I promise you. For God's sakes.
All right, what else we got on the text line?
My God.
All right, everyone's just chiming in on this Hurts thing. Trevor from Percy says,
it is.
What I took away from that clip of Bill is literally illustrating what you guys say about Jalen being a game manager.
Yes.
I think he is a game manager.
And I say that in a positive way, right? A game manager. But, again, we have seen in the games where they have needed him, he has played very well. This year, he has not. And what I will keep on going back to is I don't think he all of a sudden just sucks. So what is it? Why is it that this year when they've had to lean on him, it's been bad? Why? Can anyone answer that question without just saying Kevin Patullo first? 610-632-0975.
It's easy to acknowledge what the ex-players, what other analysts are saying. It's easy to acknowledge what they're saying.
All right, so every day after the show, except for today because I got to get out of here, every day after the show, Johnny and I do something called post-show headlines. So if you just search Kincade and Salciunas post-show headlines, you'll see it pop up. It's simple. And every single day,
a lot of fun.
We come up with the topics, or if it's like a Friday before a Eagles Sunday, we do the pregame edition, so that'll be Monday. Monday we'll do the pregame edition.
Then we do postgame editions.
Then we do the postgame edition, where it's sort of reaction to the game. But the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on a normal week, we come up with some topics that we don't normally get into on the air as much. It's not just Eagles all the time. We talk a little bit more about the Flyers on post-show headlines.
Two goofy topics.
And then we also do the listener sent in questions, where once a week we read questions that have been sent in by the listeners. So you can check it out every day, like and subscribe. I'm always told to say that, or I will get beat up around here.
You're going to say spanked?
I was about to.
Really? Okay.
Are you good?
Well, yesterday a topic came up and on the show, and we want you to hear the audio as it's
because your question's in it. So this was topic 1 on post-show headlines yesterday.
Let me see one thing. I can tell you that the Eagles on camera, when they let you behind the scenes and you're seeing them, they seem like a lame, bland, emotionless team right now. They seem like a team that is going through. And
just to clarify, this was Hard Knocks. So you were reacting because when you say on camera, you're talking about
on
you
the Hard Knocks
watching Hard Knocks.
Right.
Continue.
The motions. This was leading up to the Dallas game. The Dallas game leading up to the Bears game. They seemed like they were a team that was doing the shuffle. Just not a lot of energy, not a lot of, I don't want to say mailing it in, but that's what I felt.
Can I tell you when it started?
When AJ started pulling his crap? When?
August.
Explain.
This is no fun team. We're not Super Bowl champions. Banner night? What banner? Well, I don't know anything about banner night. I didn't even know that they were raising that thing. That team's in the past. We're moving forward. No Victory Mondays. Victory Monday was canceled this year because they were upset with the way they were playing when they beat the Cowboys, beat the Chiefs, beat the Rams, beat the Bucks. Victory Monday got canceled. The emotions that they are not allowing themselves to express, I think, is becoming a problem for them.
Dude, I'm leaving right now. That is like, where the hell's that been? We're doing that tomorrow.
Okay.
We're doing that in long form tomorrow on the show. That's freaking brilliant.
It is. Connor, when I heard him say that, I had been putting this much more on the past, after September. But because if you watch Hard Knocks, they're shuffling around. There's not a lot of bouncing around. There's not a lot of energy. There's not a lot of great loudness to them. And when you brought up August and you brought up the whole, and then by September they were taking away winning, and Nick Sirianni with the, banner night? I didn't even know it was banner night. All that garbage. I'm blown away by it because I then go back and really thinking it set a tone. And in retrospect, I think it set a bad tone that is maybe carried through this whole year.
So I
give you a tip of the cap if I was to wear caps.
We continued in the post-show headlines. Like I talked about the Phillies for comparison, right? Like last year, it was miserable. Even though they were winning games, it was miserable early on. No more daycare. Edmundo Sosa is not allowed to slam his helmet. We don't do that around here. And it's like, well, hold on a second, Bryce.
Even though Bryce pulls temper tantrums all the time.
I see you do it all the time. I see Alec Boehm do it all the time. Like that's weird. Sports is supposed to be fun. Right, like ultimately.
Yes.
Let me ask you guys something. What is the sport out of the four major sports with the most rah-rah speeches, all that kind of stuff?
It's football.
Sport? It's football.
Yeah, it's not
It's
close.
football.
Right?
The pregame speech is a football thing.
So I'm sure they do speeches. I know Nick Sirianni's all about the speeches, right? But
He does the game the night before the game speech.
When Ben Johnson is ripping his shirt off after the Bears beat the Eagles. I'm not saying I need Nick Sirianni to do that, but that was a locker room that was partying. When Sean Payton is playing Dreams and Nightmares when they're getting on the bus after beating the Eagles at Lincoln Financial
and
Field.
then driving them through Center City for some reason.
But that's a football thing. You don't see that in hockey. You don't see that in basketball. You rarely see it in baseball, except for when they're popping bottles and getting drunk and Garrett Stubbs is saying bleep the Mets when he doesn't play, right? Like, football there's something different to it. I think of Kirk Cousins with the wearing all the ice a few years ago, right, when he was still beloved, right?
Sure.
You have a head coach that was refusing to acknowledge that they won the Super Bowl. You have a quarterback whose personality is, let's just win.
Whose personality is, let's just say, very dry.
Very dry, right?
Very dry.
So when you see,
he is a saltine.
When you say that you see that in Hard Knocks, you're watching Hard Knocks, and one of the things you're taking away from it
boring as hell.
Is they're just like a boring group. I'm not surprised because back in August they refused to acknowledge they were Super Bowl champions,
and they were told not to.
And then the night they got the rings, that was the last time I've seen a lot of those guys smile.
And the smiling and the joyousness, that night, the rings. Watching Devontae Smith,
yeah,
who was one of those people who was much lighter than AJ Brown, but was like still
AJ ear to ear.
Oh my
smile.
gosh! And then that was it.
And it almost feels
it's
like
the last we've seen it.
They've compressed their emotions so much, and they've added
They sucked the life out of the room.
But they've added more pressure to it.
Yes, because now it's all about repeating. It's nothing about last year.
And you know what? I know it's a different result, 1 win, 1 loss, but I'm going to compare what I'm telling you now about this team to the 2023 Eagles that were following a Super Bowl loss. I'll explain more coming up next. I want your reaction on this at 610-632-0975. I made John change how he's looked at this completely.
And I think you're right.
Do you think there's something there, or am I in a bit of an overthinking mode with the Eagles after their last 2 losses? But again, I say it goes back to August. I'm not saying the last 2 weeks. I think this is a problem that was set by the head coach refusing to acknowledge anything. We want to hear from you on this next. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, let's talk about our house. The holidays are here. Getting closer and closer to the big day. You might be busy decorating your home, from twinkling lights, wreaths, to festive stars and candles. But what if something not so magical is hiding right beneath your feet? Maybe it's Krampus. Or maybe it's nasty smells, mold, mildew in your crawl space, cracks on your interior or exterior walls. Maybe you've noticed that when you're climbing on your roof and putting the lights up, like I did yesterday on the tippy-toppy roof. Leaks or standing water, sticking doors or windows, heightened or worsening allergies, uneven sagging or bouncing floors, drainage issues. If you have one of those issues, let alone all of them, you need to schedule a free inspection from Groundworks. The team's experts will identify your home's issues at the source. This is what is going wrong. They'll come on out for free, tell you exactly what's going on and how they are going to fix it. Now, the thing is, you might be thinking, yeah, but it's the holidays. I got to start saving some money. They have payment plans as well for you. They will work with you to make sure that you can take care of your house. This is a company that truly cares about you, the customers. So schedule Groundworks to come out as soon as possible. Solving these problems can provide peace of mind during the holiday season, knowing that your home is secure and safe for your family. Guests, go to their website, groundworks.com.
Philadelphia is a sports city full of
All right. I have heard back from Bill Colarulo. He's getting the kiddos ready for school. He said I can call around 8. So we will speak with Bill Colarulo at some point this morning. following what I believe was him almost saying that the Eagles win in spite of Jalen Hurts. We'll let him speak for himself, but we will play the clip for him before he thinks that we're just like making something up. All right?
No, we have to make sure that he, and that way we're not misrepresenting him to our audience.
Speaking of the 8 o'clock
we're not going to
hour.
pull an unfiltered.
Exactly, which is what Bill does. Andrew the Checo will be joining us for the entire final 2 hours of the show as well, so he'll be here momentarily. And again, I have a game, Stumped at the Checo. It'll be Andrew the Checo versus John and Connor.
Interesting.
2v1. I wonder if you guys can still win.
Open book, open notes?
No, off the top of your head, baby.
Damn.
Yeah. This is why, I know you guys are going to lose. I just wonder, can you guys keep it close?
I don't know.
All right.
He's tough.
Now, of course, the one thing that somebody is holding on to during my explanation of the no fun team is oh, my God, you really say Kirk Cousins? I use an example. All right.
You just use an example, yes. Let's keep it to the Eagles.
How about I keep it to another dominant team, the Kansas City Chiefs?
They literally acted for their entire run. They have acted like
we're the Super Bowl champs,
and
damn
they
it.
walk in and have fun with it.
Yeah.
And they absolutely refuse to walk away from the fact that they're the Super Bowl champs.
I think back to, was it last year when they won on Christmas Day and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce ran in with the Santa suits?
Yes.
That was just last year.
They do not
have
any.
Do you see any of that with the Eagles?
They do not shy away from being the Super Bowl champs. They never shied away from embracing it, having the crown on their head, and saying, come and get it.
Yeah.
Come and get it.
I just wonder, and maybe you guys think I'm nuts. And if you do, that's fine. Like, I don't need you to agree with me. If you think I'm crazy, that's fine. All I know is the Philadelphia Eagles, ever since they won the Super Bowl, have basically been shocked if they ever mentioned that they were Super Bowl champions. They were brainwashed. That was last year. This is a new team, new year. And
we're not talking about it's that it's honestly, it's like Nick Sirianni tried to be Nick Saban. And by the way, when Nick Saban, who I have tons of respect for, love coach, great college coach, when he came to the NFL, he failed. Because that stuff, that high school
Doesn't
Harry
work
crap,
as much, yeah.
doesn't work in the NFL.
All right, do we have any immediate reaction on the text line for that?
Yeah, we do. So we have someone checking in here on this one. Let me just pull it up here. As far as the mentality, this texter says, I agree with you guys. In 2018, I knew we had a good chance of winning the Super Bowl because of the locker room vibes. They're non-existent this year.
In 2023, the Eagles were 10-1. And we were told that it was the most miserable 10-1 team anybody's ever been around.
Amen.
Jalen Hurts walked around with the damn confetti of him walking off the field following a Super Bowl on his phone. That was a storyline. And the storyline was, I can't believe we lost the Super Bowl. We got to get back there by all means necessary. And I think the pressure got to him. Like when a reporter is telling you it's the most miserable 10-1 team they've ever seen.
Bottom line.
Like, there's something to that. This time it's different because the Eagles are the Super Bowl champions, which is great. But act like it. Like, don't do the whole, oh, that was last year. And then in week 12, Monday, after the Eagles lose to the Bears, I got Nick Sirianni talking to the media. Yeah, we got to look back to what has worked and what hasn't worked. It's like, well, hold on a second. You wanted to ignore everything.
We didn't do that. Yes, there's so many contrary messages because he gobbledygooks everything. He doesn't listen to what he's saying because he doesn't believe what he's saying. He's just saying stuff, and that's where Connor, you and I butted heads on this all the time. Oh, I don't care what a coach says to the media. You know what? It's so easy to be Vic Fangio. It's so easy to just treat people with respect and to just answer questions. And when you don't want to answer something, Vic Fangio doesn't answer it. When you don't need, Vic Fangio has legitimately said, I don't need to share that with you. You don't need to know that. That's for me to know. It's easy for a coach to say that. You don't have to be all giving of information. But to just do this BS of double talk, it's disrespectful. And more importantly, it's nonsense.
Miggs on the YouTube chat. You mean that same Chiefs team that got dominated in the Super Bowl? I'm sorry they lost one.
Yeah, you mean that they went to what? What did they go to, 5 out of 6?
Yes.
What'd they go to?
It went to 5 out of 6. I'm sorry. They lost one, dude.
That Chiefs team. Oh no, they lost. They lost that 2020 Super Bowl
That's
too.
right.
Yeah.
They did.
Those
To
bums.
Tom Brady.
Those freaking bums.
They stink.
Bunch of idiots.
Man,
they're a bunch of bums.
What else we got on the text line?
All right, this texter checks in and says, they remind me of Rick Vaughn in Major League 2. No more Wild Thing, all business and no fun.
That's a great comparison. Wild Thing went away, so did his fastball. You know, all of a sudden I mean, think, hungry dogs run faster, right? Like, where is that? They don't have that.
Well, no, we have that.
No, we have it on a drop board.
Hungry dogs run fast.
I have drama and no fun. Like, that's what the Eagles team has been this year.
They're not having
compressed emotions, drama.
Let's not have any fun. Let's not. More importantly, though, when you don't want to embrace what they don't want to embrace when they say, we're turning the page. It's not about last year. Part of what you're doing is you're trying to take pressure off yourself. You're trying to say, we don't want to talk about last year because we don't want to have the pressure
but you know what's
of
funny?
being the defending champs. Because having the crown on your head is pressure.
Even though you're not talking about it, you're thinking about it.
No, you are.
It's on your brain.
You are.
And at some point, I'm waiting for somebody, if the Eagles lose like another game or two in the next couple of weeks, I'm waiting for somebody on the team to mention that they were Super Bowl champion. I'm waiting for it.
I don't think that's coming. I don't.
You don't think so?
No.
Hey, we did it last year. We're Super Bowl champions, right?
One thing
you can't imagine one person saying that.
Because the one thing that they've been consistent with all year is the standard. Like, hey, we got to play up to this. It's not acceptable. It's why they canceled Victory Mondays. It's why
who
they're
says that? The standard. I mean, honestly, that's a Jalen line.
Well, but the idea of the, like, hey, we're winning, but we're not doing well enough, the A.J. Brown criticism, at no point have they reached back and said, oh, yeah, we're Super Bowl champs. That's not the vibe of this team right now. They're almost too far the other direction. Maybe they should say, hey, we're the Super Bowl champs.
No, they should have said it week 1.
Like, I don't understand.
Banner night.
I don't think anybody.
What banner?
I think at this point, nobody's going to say.
I think they went too far. I think they went too far with the let's ignore that any of this stuff happened. And I honestly think it's crept into the locker room. You're saying they look miserable.
No, they just look dull. They don't look, I can tell you this, they don't look like a fun bunch.
Could also be timing. That was before
the Cowboys game, before the Bears game.
Yeah.
But before the Cowboys game, they were the 1 seed. That's not true. And then they were up 21-0.
All right,
21-0.
Coming up next, our man Andrew DeCecco will join us for the remainder of the show. So we'll welcome him in. Also, I have a game. John and Connor against DeCecco. Stump the DeCecco. You can play along at home as well. My money's on Andrew. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Birds are back to work. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are back in action trying to get ready for their matchup with the Chargers in L.A., and they're facing a lot of questions as they try and get off this 2-game skid, including offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo, who was asked the question yesterday about if he's going to continue to keep his duties as offensive play caller.
Nick has said you're still calling plays. In terms of the way that you approach that role and the game planning of it, any of the responsibilities that you do or maybe delegate, have you changed any of those things?
No, I'm still calling the plays.
So we're still with Kevin Patullo, and he's going to try and figure it out, as are the rest of the Eagles. There won't be any reinforcements coming on the defensive side of the ball either for the Birds. Darius Slay, who split with the Steelers, was claimed by the Bills yesterday, so he will not return to Philadelphia. Nick Sirianni meets with the media today at 12:10. Flyers, a 5-2 victory over the Sabres last night. Another nice win for them. At 15-8-3, they now sit in third place in the Metropolitan Division. They're off until Sunday. Sixers are back on the court at home tonight as they host the Golden State Warriors. That's a 7 p.m. tip-off from the Xfinity Mobile Arena. You can hear that game live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Don't miss Andrew DeCecco, who joins the guys coming up next. He'll be with us for the remainder of the show. This update is brought to you by Philly Sports Trips. Join Philly Sports Trips as the Birds take over Washington on December 20th. Round-trip travel, great seats, and the ultimate game day experience with fellow Eagles fans. Spots are limited. Book now at phillysportstrips.com. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Kincade and Salciunas, 6 to 10 a.m. Middays.
is 7:55 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. We will speak with Bill Colarulo at some point in the 8 o'clock hour. And there is a reason why. We've played the audio for you a couple of times. I want to play it for our guest who joins us now in studio, the great Andrew DeCecco. Andrew, good morning.
Good morning.
He's days from L.A., so he's got a certain...
He's ready to go.
Yeah, he loves L.A.
He's ready to go. I'm happy for you. It's going to be a great trip. Hopefully, it's a great game, and hopefully the Eagles' offense can put a lot of the worries to bed, which I don't think will ever happen.
Didn't Bill put you in your place yesterday?
How?
He pretty much laid out all the facts, but what's this audio that you're talking about?
How did he put me in my place? It didn't make me feel any better about the offense. Whoever you want to blame, I don't think the offense is getting better. That's the determination I made. I don't care if you want to blame Patullo, Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, the guy on the sideline that's spraying water into people's mouth. I don't care who you want to blame. The offense stinks. I've come to that determination.
And that's that really didn't take a PhD.
No.
To say that this offense is really bad.
I just, because of the offensive line, I don't see it changing. Like,
okay. I mean, you have every reason to. It hasn't looked great, and, we're in week 14 now.
Yeah. Like, I know it comes off as emotional, right? But, like, I don't see how it's going to change. I really, like, what? They're not going to all of a sudden find some magic button to push where everybody's healthy, or they're going to find some magic button where, hey, this play works, right? Like, it's just, it is the way that it is right now.
Well,
it's not good enough.
I guess what I meant is Bill kind of shed light on everything that, I've been saying all season, everything Kurt Warner, who joined your show, said.
Right.
All the guests who have joined your show have said, and, yeah. He pretty much just kind of offered you a different perspective.
All right. Well, I'm going to play this for you because to me, it comes off like Bill Colarulo is trying to say something without saying it. This is him yesterday. I called in, and he started talking about the Eagles and the ground game.
Let me give you some numbers. Jalen Hurts has been a starting quarterback this is his 5th season. In 2021, they were 32nd in pass attempts. That's last in the NFL in pass attempts. They had the number 1 rushing offense. That's how they got to the playoffs. In 2022, they were 23rd in pass attempts. Even in Jalen Hurts' MVP caliber season, 23rd in pass attempts. They had a top 5 rushing offense. In 2023, as bad as things were, 21st in pass attempts. In fact, that's the highest they finished with Jalen Hurts, a quarterback, by the way. But they had a top 8 rushing attack. Last year, on your way to the Super Bowl, last again in pass attempts, but the number 2 rushing offense. And this year, you're 29th in pass attempts. What's the difference? You're 22nd in rushing. The only difference is not just the coordinator. It's you don't have a run game. When we talk about Hurts, and you have these high expectations of Jalen Hurts, which we all have because we do give him credit when they win, unlike some other shows. But when you have now seen him for 5 seasons in a row, and they're always in the bottom of the NFL in pass attempts, I get there's a new coordinator. But when the run game's not working, when the offensive line can't open up holes like they used to, do you think that this team can win if you have Jalen Hurts throwing the ball 40 times a game? They've never done that before.
To me, what did you, when you hear that, I want to get I don't even want to say what I thought. Because what I thought yesterday when I was on with Bill, I did not even tell these two.
We did not.
We
listened to it, and he did not speak to us about it.
6:05 a.m. was when they heard that clip, and they reacted to it. What is your reaction to that audio from Bill?
Well, I mean, it's a culmination of all the information that we have over the last 3 or 4 years, and it's not anything that's revolutionary. This offense is not designed to be a high-volume passing offense.
Why?
Because that's not the way that Nick Sirianni structures it. He believes in running the football, which if you look at back in 2021, all the way until right now, that's been their foundational approach, protect the football. That's his ideology, and that's his principle. So now when you have to get outside of that, that's not what this is conducive to being able to implement.
Is it Nick Sirianni or is it Jalen Hurts?
Both.
Because to me, the takeaway I had yesterday, what Bill did not realize he was doing for me was giving me a topic for today. So I thank Bill Colarulo for that.
We do appreciate it.
John and Connor also got the exact same reaction, that it almost, and I'm not going to speak for Bill, and we're going to speak with him around 8:25 this morning. It almost sounds like he's saying they win in spite of Jalen sometimes.
I think
don't speak for him, though.
No, but I think
let him talk.
That's why we're having him. We're going to do that. That's why we're having him on.
That way?
That's absolutely how all of us heard that. is that, well, they're winning despite Jalen. They have to do these things because Jalen can't throw it, where I absolutely believe with a competent offensive game plan, they could. Jalen Hurts twice in his career has been the best passer in the NFL from the pocket. That's a number.
I don't believe that dropping back 35, 40 times is the recipe for success.
That's not what I said.
That's a pass-happy offense.
I didn't say that. All I said is Jalen Hurts has twice in his career been the best passer from the pocket in the NFL. 2 seasons. So it's not like he's atrocious. I also agree with you. I do not want a pass-happy, crazy thing. But when you have a beat-up offensive line that is not built to run block right now, it's not. It's not working. They're beaten up. We know they're injured. But they're pass blocking much more effectively, and various objective that non-Eagles sources will tell you the Eagles are pass blocking much more effectively than they're run blocking.
Which I've said all season.
So why are you not adjusting to that and saying we're batting our heads against the wall because it's something philosophically we want to do when we don't have the personnel that's healthy enough to do it?
That's the $64,000 question.
And that is where the head coach and the offensive coordinator are absolutely derelict of their duties. That's ridiculous. You know you don't have the personnel to do it. They're not healthy. And you continue to say,
I think that's a little overblown, too, the health aspect. I think that's something that it is a factor, but it's been probably talked about a little bit too much now.
Well, could it also be that defenses are still doing whatever they can to take away the run?
Yes.
All right, so then
it's all of that.
My follow-up to that, as you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. By the way, in a couple minutes, we're going to have a game. It's you versus John and Connor. My money's on you.
And he's doing this.
My money's on you.
Chicheko's doing this. I'm not even worried.
In the Super Bowl last year, in February, right, like 8 months ago, the Chiefs did whatever they could to take away the run, right? And the passing game was good.
I know. I was there. And there's been other games this last season that you could point to as well. But if you're talking that there's one thing to do it for a few games in a row, but sustainably to be able to do that, that's not what this offense is built to do.
It's not built to do. How can that be said without trying it?
They've tried it at the beginning of the 2021 season. Look back at the first 6 or 7 games that Nick Sirianni was calling plays and how many times they dropped back to throw the football.
The 2021 season, Jalen Hurts was a true first-year starter. You had a first-year that's not the same.
Let me get this clear. You would like them to adopt the identity of being a pass-first team.
I would like them to say, I would like to say what NFL head coach says we're going to do on offense what we are not as good at. We're going to do that first instead of doing what we are as better at first.
John, every single day you say that they're not good at anything on offense.
No, I don't. That's not true.
You always say they don't have an identity. What can they hang their hat on?
No, I'm asking you right now.
Jalen did say they don't have an identity.
What NFL? They're the ones who are saying they got to get an identity.
So then how can you say that they're better at one thing or the other?
Well, they are better. Right now they're better at pass blocking. So instead, I'm saying to you, what NFL coach goes into a game and says, we're better at pass blocking. We're better at so what we're going to do is we're going to do what we're not as good at, and we're going to keep doing that. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. Maybe you're going to say it does make sense to you. I don't. I don't think it makes sense.
That they could adopt a pass to set up the run as opposed to the run to set up the pass, considering everything that we know this year?
It's going to be tough against the Chargers, I'll tell you that. They have a top 5 defense.
Sure. And it was tough against the Bears, who have a bottom 5 defense.
Right. So how could you say that they're better at that?
I'm not saying that they're better. I'm saying it's worth trying.
There's things that they haven't even tried that we're just assuming they're not good at. I'm not assuming anything with these guys because they try to do square peg round hole a lot. They try to do things that they're not very good at, and they're just going to keep on trying it and beating their head against the wall. And also, too, it's great to point to things that, like, the analysts are saying. Let's talk to other things the analysts are saying. The analysts are also saying, as Dan Orlovsky will tell you, watching the tape from Kellen Moore, watching the tape to this year, the pass tree, the pass patterns, there's nothing similar.
Yeah, I always laugh at that. The new comment now is hitch routes. Hitch routes. Last year was hot route. I mean, do you think that coaches don't have that built in? And first of all, hot routes are a sight adjustment anyway.
Right.
But do you think for 1 second that crossing routes, which are a staple of every NFL offense, is this revolutionary concept that the Philadelphia Eagles and the Philadelphia Eagles alone don't implement? Don't you think for 1 second that they're taking into consideration the preferences of their personnel, like any good coach will do? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Okay,
Coaches that have been in the league for over a decade, you're suggesting that they have these passing concepts that are underdeveloped.
Okay, but when it doesn't work, why don't you change it?
I just got done saying, don't you think that they're weighing all the options? When you hear coaches say they tailor to the strengths of their players, that they go with what they're comfortable with doing, I mean, do you think that's lip service, or do you think that they just forgot what a crossing route is? I mean, like, I don't know what you're getting at here.
I'm just getting at what ex-NFL quarterbacks look at, and they say this Eagles offense looks rudimentary, fundamentally poor.
That's not what Tom Brady said a few weeks ago.
Yeah, he gave it as Tom gave them some good praise,
and then he changed
it as the game went on. In the second half, he changed it. On the same game, he changed his analysis.
All right, coming up next, we have questions for DeCecco. Start texting them in now. Sorry that I didn't get to it till just now, Connor. 610-632-0975. State of the Eagles. Upcoming game against the Chargers. Previous week against the Bears. We haven't had a chance to talk to you about that yet. So questions for DeCecco. Text them in now, 610-632-0975. Before we do that, I'm going to start this game. Jersey number. I'll tell you the era and then the college, and you have to tell me the player. So, for example, if I said 5, early 2000s, Syracuse, the answer would be
Brian Westbrook. We're going to get cooked.
It's going to be John and Connor versus DeCecco.
DeCecco will, forget these. He's forgotten more of these numbers.
I'll give the first real one next. And we do questions for DeCecco. It is Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
John
It is 8:11 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Andrew DeCecco with us for the remainder of the show. We'll do questions for DeCecco here momentarily. Again, you can sneak them in now, 610-632-0975. State of the Eagles, previous game against the Bears, upcoming game against the Chargers. Who to blame on the offense, 610-632-0975. Now, before we do that, I want to ask the first question. So, again, I have jersey number, era, and college.
Now, people will be getting involved in this on YouTube.
Yeah, they can play. They can play along at home.
Okay.
They're going to be mainly 2000s on. Just to, not going to make you think about jersey numbers from the 70s or 80s. Mainly
Okay.
2000s on. The example I gave, 5 early 2000s Syracuse. The answer was Don McNabb. So what I have here, I have your name, I have John's name, I have Connor's name, because I will keep your individual statistics, but the two of them, their combined score versus yours. And I have my money on you.
I'm putting my money on DeCecco, too.
Oh, you throwing this game? Chauncey Billups over here.
I'm not going to throw. I'm not doing any. I'm not throwing anything. I'm just putting my money on him.
All right, the first one. Number 7, mid-2010s,
Michael Vick.
Oklahoma.
Oh, Sam Bradford.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, my gosh. Very good.
All right, so DeCecco, Bradford, correct. All right, I'll give you one more. 10 or 16, late 2010s, UNC.
The Mac Hollins.
Yes, there you go.
He didn't wear 16.
He wore 10 and 16.
He wore 10 and 16.
Yeah, 10 and 16.
What year did he wear 16?
Must have been the first number.
Like a preseason game or something.
Mac
Probably
Hollins.
preseason game. Let's see. I mean, look, I'll take you over Pro Football Reference. No, 2019 he wore 16.
10 and 16.
2017 he wore 10.
All right.
According to Pro Football Reference.
I'll give you the benefit.
Because remember, he got traded to Miami or what? Something happened that year.
Everyone
Yeah.
forgets about 16 Matt Collins. That guy was nasty.
All right, so right now it's 1-1.
How does Mac Hollins? Mac Hollins has how many years? How many years of service did Mac Hollins?
8 years now.
Man, he's about to get that 10-year. If he gets that 10 years, he's really good.
He's
To buy a pair of shoes.
No,
he doesn't want
no,
to.
Connor, the 10-year vesting is amazing. That'd be great.
Yeah, it would be. All right, time now for questions for DeCecco. So this was some football music. Brought to us by who, Connor?
Our friends over at Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name Lundy Law. Your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com.
All right, what we got?
All right, let's lead off with this one about the upcoming game against the Chargers because our guy Bob up in Vermont wants to know who's poised to have a good game against this Chargers team. Anyone you can think of, Andrew?
Well, I'm always going to say A.J. Brown because A.J. Brown has the body type to be able to win at all three levels of the game, of the field, rather. And I do believe that they're going to have to throw the football in this one because the running game hasn't necessarily worked. But the Chargers do have a pretty sound run defense. They may not have a lot of household names there, but I think the most logical path to victory will be to the air this week, and A.J. should be able to win his matchups, as he always does.
All right, what else you got?
This texter asks, what will be the trigger, in your opinion, to have Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman have a talk with Sirianni and Patullo about the offense, or do you believe those conversations have already happened?
I would imagine that they may have, but after this game, if it doesn't look as it's intended to, then you might see those conversations become more prevalent. Look, I think Nick Sirianni deserves the benefit of the doubt, winning the Super Bowl and trying to get this headed in the right direction. Obviously, this late in the season is cause for concern. I understand the frustration, but I would imagine that there may have been some communication at this point, and that'll certainly ramp up if the Eagles don't perform well Monday night.
So you believe if the offense looks poor Monday, there could be a change of some sort?
Well, you look at this week. I would expect to see something this week, whether that's different personnel groupings where you're leaning more on all three of your running backs. Maybe you're giving a different tight end a look in the running game. Marcus Epps starting at safety. There's always so many things you can do. There's always so many buttons you can push at this stage of the game. But I would expect to see something a little bit different.
All right, what else you got?
I love this question. No name on this text, but they say, magic wand to change one thing about the Eagles this year. What is it?
Run the football more effectively because it opens up everything else.
All right.
I think that would definitely help.
Fair enough.
Question for Andrew here. No name on this one as well. People start putting your names on it. These are great questions. This texter asks, we all agree the run game and pass game is a little bit stagnant right now. Why is there reluctance to either run Jalen or leverage more RPOs?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like Jalen's as inclined to run the football. And that could be due to preservation purposes. But that's also baked into what makes this running game work. Him being that +1 and putting that unique stress on defenses. And if he's not able to, or not willing to, I should say, run the football, well, I mean, that takes a sizable chunk out of your playbook and really starts to make you a little bit more one-dimensional.
Is that he comes into camp, not training camp, but like OTA saying, hey, I want to limit? Like, how does that conversation, or when does that conversation start?
Oh, I imagine it happens when you're trying to put together the offense for this season.
Okay.
I don't think it's something in the middle of the year where you're
No, I'm just saying because the reports did come out that it was before the season started. But like, does he go to Nick? Like, I wonder how that happens.
Kevin. I'm sure it's a collective. I'm sure they collaborate on that.
All right, what else we got?
Mike in Marlton wants to know, can the offensive line at this point regain their ability to run block the way they were last year, or do you think that ship has sailed?
Well, I mean, we're at week 14, and it hasn't necessarily outside of the Giants game, and there have been pockets of certain games where they have, but we haven't seen it yet. There's been no evidence this season sustainably, so I would say probably not. I do think that there'll be games where 80 to 100 yards out of Saquon is not out of the realm of possibility.
Sure.
They do have games against the Raiders and the Commanders coming up. The Commanders, by the way, playing pretty good football. They have a chance to, play spoiler or at least try to make things interesting down the stretch.
All right, we got one more?
Yeah, and thank you to Cody for putting his name. You just got to ask people. He texted in and said sorry. So he asked the magic wand question. One from Connor here in Fishtown. Do you have any logical explanation for the Tank Bigsby no carries in the game against the Bears?
No, I don't. But I look at Saquon Barkley. He himself only had 13 carries for 56, and they started running the ball a little bit better in the second half, which, if you're looking for a silver lining in that game, they were running the ball a little bit more effectively there. But, yeah, Tank Bigsby, it's kind of curious because he does create a spark when he's in there. He has a unique running style. It's a really good complement to what they have in Saquon. And I do imagine that when you're searching for answers and the options are very limited, that's where you have to get a little bit more creative in how you're utilizing or maximizing your personnel, which could be Tank Bigsby, which could be Cam Latu as the blocking tight end, and maybe even Shipley in the receiving game. You have to do something.
What about Jahad Campbell's no snaps?
Well, Vic Fangio yesterday said that has to do with the Kobe Dean playing well, but he did go back and say, I have to find a way to get him a handful of snaps. He said that's on me. His snap share has been trending downwards, right? Against the Lions, it was 20. Against the Cowboys, it was 11. And then to play just 6 special team snaps, no defensive snaps against against the Bears was kind of curious. You have to find a way to get him on the field. And I think it could be situational based where he does offer the athleticism, the range, sideline to sideline, the cover ability, and you don't want to take him off the field or out of the equation completely because then I think you're depriving him or maybe shortchanging his development.
All right. Good job, Andrew. Good job. Questions that were sent in. Thank you to everybody that was a part of it. All
Always
right.
good questions.
Number 50, early 2010s, Oregon.
Casey Matthews.
Very good.
All right. Andrew's up 2-1 to Connor and John.
Wait a minute, Connor doesn't get a... Wait a minute, no.
You got to carry your weight a little bit.
He's up 2-1 to me.
So I'm going to be honest, the first 2 questions I thought we were rotating and we were each getting one. I didn't realize it was a buzz.
First.
You haven't even gotten out of the block.
Oh, man, I've been sitting waiting for the gun to go off. Let's go. No more Mr. Nice Guy coming up.
Coming up next.
Don't start singing.
Bill Colarulo will join the show. The kids have been dropped off at school, so we will speak with Bill for a few minutes. I just want him to be able to speak for himself. Also, I want to talk about Monday night. We have 2 quarterbacks that have both been, going at it Monday night. But the way we talk about them are totally different. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Had a celebratory dinner last night with my friends from the Consultants in Medical Oncology and Hematology, Dr. Sprandio and the entire team. Had a great chance to get out with them last night. Thanks, La Laconda in Newtown Square. We had so much fun. CMOH, though, they're here to help you. And I raised a glass last night at dinner. And I thanked all the doctors, and I thanked the team because I said, look, I'm here tonight to have this dinner. I'm here tonight to celebrate this Christmas holiday because of the fine work that you do and for all the families that you do it for. The consultants in medical oncology and hematology help people find that peace of mind, to be able to take on the cancer journey and to be able to attack it. And what they do is they take a lot off your plate, too. And since they're an independent hematology practice, they're an independent oncology practice, they allow you to move amongst different healthcare systems. They even schedule your appointments for you. They offer quick consults, clear communication, and most importantly, an individualized plan that helps you. When we clinked glasses last night, I said, thank you. I appreciate being here, and I appreciate CMOH. The consultants in medical oncology and hematology, they're second to none. Visit CMOH.org, and please take the first step towards peace of mind. If you ever need help, just reach out to me, too. I'll be glad to give them my full endorsement.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Criticism for the coaching. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Eagles are trying to figure things out as they're in the midst of a 2-game slide. They got a matchup with the Chargers Monday night in Los Angeles. Feels like every game's a primetime game. And the coordinators, they had some primetime media availability yesterday where Kevin Patullo, who has faced a lot of that criticism we were talking about, talked about the factor that plays in being a coach in the NFL.
You know the pressure's there, but we all accept it because we ultimately want to be at the highest part of our coaching career and continue to working through that. And this is part of it. It's a challenge, and so it's very unique and it's fun.
Hopefully that challenge can be met ahead of Monday when the Eagles try and get back on the winning side of things. There won't be any help coming on the defensive side for the Birds, though, as far as new players. Darius Slay, who split ways with the Steelers earlier this week, was claimed by the Bills yesterday on waivers, so he will not be coming back to Philadelphia. Nick Sirianni meets with the media today at 12:10. Flyers lit the lamp 5 times in a win over the Sabres last night. They're now 15-8-3 and sitting at 3rd place in the Metro. Good start for them. They're off until Sunday. Sixers are back on the court tonight, 7 p.m. against the Warriors at home. You can hear that game live here on The Fanatic. Andrew DeCecco remains with us for the remainder of the show. This update is brought to you by Groundworks, your trained and certified experts for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
It
is 8:27 here on Kincade and Salciunas 97.5. The Fanatic, our man Andrew DeCecco with us for the remainder of the show today. And we're talking, obviously, about the Eagles. Congratulations, by the way, to Jordan Mailata. He's been named the Eagles' Walter Payton Man of the Year Award nominee.
Well, he certainly has done the work for it.
Damn right he has. So congratulations to Jordan Mailata. Damn right.
Good day, mate.
Just do your bleeping job. All right, join us now on the Comcast Business Hotline. Every day in business, big day, like Comcast Business, help you move forward with what's next. He does a tremendous job hosting Unfiltered from 2 to 6 here on the Fanatic. And we've been talking about him since 6:05 this morning. Our man, Bill Colarulo. Billy.
Hi, Bill.
How are the kids? Everyone at school? Safe? Good to go?
Everybody is good, but you've been talking about me since 6:05.
Yes.
I missed this.
What you did not know yesterday when you had me on, and I appreciate you bringing me on after I was led to believe you guys wanted me on, you started saying something that I took note of, and I did not even want to push back. I said, this is my topic for tomorrow. Thank you, Bill. So, Bill, when you were going through the numbers yesterday over the last 5 years, Jalen Hurts as the starter, you were talking about where they ranked in terms of pass attempts, the ground game, all that kind of stuff. I want to play it for you, and then I'm going to ask you a question and allow you to go on the record, okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right, take a listen to you yesterday.
Let me give you some numbers. Jalen Hurts has been a starting quarterback this is his 5th season. In 2021, they were 32nd in pass attempts. That's last in the NFL in pass attempts. They had the number 1 rushing offense. That's how they got to the playoffs. In 2022, they were 23rd in pass attempts. Even in Jalen Hurts' MVP caliber season, 23rd in pass attempts. They had a top 5 rushing offense. In 2023, as bad as things were, 21st in pass attempts. In fact, that's the highest they finished with Jalen Hurts, a quarterback, by the way. But they had a top 8 rushing attack. Last year, on your way to the Super Bowl, last again in pass attempts, but the number 2 rushing offense. And this year, you're 29th in pass attempts. What's the difference? You're 22nd in rushing. The only difference is not just the coordinator. It's you don't have a run game. When we talk about Hurts, and you have these high expectations of Jalen Hurts, which we all have because we do give him credit when they win, unlike some other shows. But when you have now seen him for 5 seasons in a row, and they're always in the bottom of the NFL in pass attempts, I get there's a new coordinator. But when the run game's not working, when the offensive line can't open up holes like they used to, do you think that this team can win if you have Jalen Hurts throwing the ball 40 times a game? They've never done that before.
All right, so, Bill, I played that.
Sounded pretty good.
It sounded great.
You got a really good voice. It must have been great in court.
I played it before on the air. John and Connor did not hear it until 6:05 this morning. Their takeaway was exactly what my takeaway was when you were saying it yesterday when I was on with you guys. It almost feels like or sounds like, and I'm going to let you set the record straight here, that you believe they sometimes win in spite of Jalen Hurts.
It's not that I think they win in spite of Jalen Hurts. I think that any good coach is going to take advantage of his players' skill sets. You never force a player to fit your system. You build the system to fit your player. So what I love about Jalen Hurts is all the intangibles we talk about. He's a winner. He wants the ball in his hands in the biggest moments. But at the same time, when we've now been through 4 coordinators, and none of them seem to focus on having a very high pass attempt type of offense, we know they don't utilize the middle of the field. This isn't just something that's this season. I think these are coordinators taking advantage of what their quarterback does well. I don't believe that Jalen Hurts is the most prolific passer in the NFL. I don't. I wouldn't put him up there with the Joe Burrows and the Justin Herberts in terms of passing. But he does so many other things well. That's what we like about him. That's why he's the perfect quarterback for this team. So I don't think – I know people take it as you're slighting Jalen Hurts. I don't look at it that way. I look at it as you take advantage of what he does well, and it's not going to be a very pass-heavy attack. Now, the difference this year, too, that I don't like is when I focused on, hey, look at the lack of pass attempts, but look how good the rushing attack has been. Jalen's been a part of that in previous years. He's been that +1 in the run game when they run the RPOs and the zone reads. When you're not doing that as much, that's not taking advantage of Hurts' skill set. Now, is that on Patullo? Is that a combination of Hurts not wanting to run as much, what we've heard that's been reported as well? So I don't think that's a slight on Hurts. He shouldn't throw the ball 40, 50, 45 times a game. He's never done it, and I don't think that's what his skill set is.
Okay, but we don't have to go to the extreme. We don't have to go to the 45 pass attempts. I mean, we can go to a 28, 30 pass attempts and say something like that. And when your offensive line is obviously better at pass blocking, and every outside agent that looks at this offensive line this year and rates them says that they pass block better. Why are they not doing that more? Is that because the head coach tells his offensive coordinators we're not doing that? Or is it because the offensive coordinators truly believe the quarterback can't do that? In your opinion.
Well, here's the interesting thing. You go back to 2021 when Nick Sirianni first comes in and he's calling plays and it's his offense. They were extremely pass heavy. And until they made the switch to Shane Steichen and they decided we have to lean on the run, I do believe deep down Nick Sirianni, when he first became coach, was I want to throw the football. I mean, the guy was a wide receiver, for God's sakes, in college. I think he came into the league as a wide receivers coach. So I think he wants to throw the football. But I think like any smart coach, and I'm high on Nick Sirianni, they make the decision we're going to do what Jalen Hurts does well. Because, look, Kellen Moore came in here last year, and I've heard you talk about this too, John, that you didn't think Kellen Moore necessarily lived up to all the hype of what he brought here.
No.
Now, did he just suddenly change when he came here?
No, I think he had handcuffs put on.
The quarterback.
Yeah, well,
I think it's from the quarterback. Though.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the coach.
Well, I think both. I think both can be true, but I think I lean more towards your opinion that he looked at it and said this is the best way to win. So I lean more towards your opinion on that, but I also think the coach, too, his overriding philosophy also played into
I mean,
it.
bottom line is right now they can't run the football, right? Like we all agree they can't do it. So they need to almost rely on the guy that's getting paid $250 million. And it sounds like, based off of what you were saying yesterday, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, it almost sounds like you're saying, yeah, but that's not how this team is going to win. They're going to win first. Like, if I put the rankings of who's winning games for us, Jalen Hurts' name does not come up till like 5.
See, it's tough because I get where you're going with it. And with Jalen Hurts, I think he does other things that help you win football games. And I think we've seen him in the 2 biggest games of his career perform at a very high level, and even throwing the football, especially in Super Bowl 57. He was incredible, and you saw the big throws in Super Bowl 59. But I don't think I'm breaking news here. I mean, this is you hear it. There's reports that come out of the NovaCare complex from coordinator to coordinator to coordinator that Jalen Hurts does have some limitations in terms of the pass tree, the route concepts, the things that they want to do. They don't do very complex pass concepts. They just don't and I think that's what Jalen Hurts feels comfortable with. But there's other things to it. I mean, look, they could have the most prolific pass attack in the NFL and not win. This team figures out ways to win. I don't know. I don't think maybe it is a slight on Hurts as a passer, but when you look at the overall picture for Jalen Hurts, I still put him up there in the tops of the league in terms of everything else. But, yeah, I mean, if you want me to have a strong opinion, I don't think Jalen Hurts is the best passer in the NFL.
All right. And I
don't think that
Bill,
it matters
Bill,
who the quarterback is or who the coordinator
yeah,
is.
nobody
I agree with you. I just want to I want that to be clear. I agree with you, but it just seems like you didn't give him as much credit.
Yeah, nobody's insinuating that he's the best, but can he be more than adequate?
I think he can, and I think he's shown that he can. It's just that
why don't they let him try?
Well, look, you go to the game against the Chicago Bears. I mean, this is where I keep coming back to. I can't put all the blame on the coordinator. There were plays to be made that the quarterback doesn't make. I mean,
yeah, he was bad. He was bad on Friday. And to be clear, we talked about it.
Yep.
I know you reacted to a clip, but we talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, look, not only the game against Chicago. I mean, I think you can go back to a lot of plays this season where Jalen Hurts hasn't necessarily been the greatest. Yeah. And look, the whole A.J. Brown stuff. A.J. Brown, I don't think, again, it's breaking news. His frustration lies with the QB.
Yeah.
There's no one else that he's frustrated with. It's been the quarterback. It's been the quarterback for years. We know that. Brandon Graham told us last year that there's issues between A.J. and Jalen, and that comes from their on-field performance.
All right, go be dad. We hear
take care of the baby.
Go be dad. Stop saying
Checo there? Is Checo there?
What's up, Billy?
Checker, I know you got my back on this.
I do, man. I got you.
Go after these guys, would you?
I've been
He can,
trying.
man. He's got the handle.
I'm exhausted, man.
He's got it.
All right, Bill. Thanks,
I'll
man.
just kidding.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
buddy.
I love you all. Talk to
See
you
you,
guys
man.
soon.
Talk to you later.
Colorado. All right, coming up next. We'll get you some coffee, Andrew. We got Hurts versus Herbert. Two similar situations, and yet they're talked about differently.
Completely.
I'll explain more coming up next, and I have more of these jersey numbers. Right now, DeCecco up 2-1 over John, and Connor's kind of there. It is Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Going to tell you right now that she doesn't need another practical gift. She's not looking for a kitchen gadget. I saw that from Silvana saying, get her a kitchen gadget for Christmas. No, guys. Get her something that's just for her, not for her to be making you dinner. Get her something from Benari Jewelers. Get her a gift from Benari that's going to be just for her, that's going to wow her, that's going to say, hey, this is going to make you look beautiful and make you feel beautiful every single day. How about some diamond stud earrings? How about a pendant necklace? How about some bracelets or colored gemstones? The kind of gift that's going to show her she's special and she can wear it every day. So if she wants to wear something to work or school drop-offs, or maybe something really, really special that she's going to have for date nights, or maybe when she goes out to those holiday parties, Benari has pieces that fit every part of her life. Something super elegant, or maybe something that is perfect for everyday use. It's all there under one roof. And when I tell you the Benari team is excellent, well, they're like Santa's little elves for this kind of shopping. They have two great locations, Exton and Newtown Square. Both beautiful showrooms, but both fantastic teams to help you be able to make the perfect buying decisions. You can go online at BenariJewelers.com and check out their entire inventory, which is awesome. But you go in and then let their sales staff help walk you through the process. And you're going to find in every price point amazing gifts. They're awesome. It's a great shopping experience. I love these folks, and they help me walk out with that signature yellow box and a winning gift every time. It's Benari Jewelers, Exton and Newtown Square. Tell them John Kincade sent you.
It's 8:42 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, let me give you another jersey number, era, and college. Andrew DeCecco up 2-1, and then I'm going to bring up this Herbert Hurts thing that I want to get into a little bit here. All right, I will.
And the more obscure college, you guarantee it's going in the DeCecco.
Well,
column.
yeah.
I mean, seriously.
All right,
what do you got?
Number 83, early to mid 2000s, the Fighting Illini.
Greg Lewis.
Yeah,
very good. Very good. I'm going every tight end. I'm going tight end.
Greg Lewis is still one of the most ridiculous catches when he was with the Vikings.
That
was Favre back of the end zone, and you're like, what the hell?
He had really good hands.
Yeah, it was great.
He had really good hands. G-Lou hands of glue.
Is he still with Andy?
No, he's not. Pinkston is. Pinkston's the
okay.
Chiefs
Is he wide
running
receiver
backs, running backs coach. Yeah,
but I know G. Lou was with the Chiefs for a while, right?
he might be with the Ravens. He was at one point.
Wow.
That's where the Chiefs dynasty went downhill. They lost
That's
Greg
exactly
Lewis.
what it is. Yes, wide receivers coach of the Ravens. Good work by you.
Well, it's on
Mr.
life
DeCecco.
support.
All right, so I have a question about the Hurts and Herbert conversation.
Yeah.
So it depends on where you come from with this, because obviously there's people in the national media that will make you think that Justin Herbert is the greatest quarterback in the history of the world.
Right.
Because he's the prototype. Like, that's literally what they say. They go, well, the prototype. He's tall, he's got a big arm, fast, and I go, yeah, and he throws 4 interceptions in playoff games, right? Like, he's come up small in big games, in playoff games. But this year, if we play roles reversed a little bit, it seems like we make a lot of excuses for Jalen and the offense because of the offensive line. Their numbers are very comparable right now. The team's records are identical, 8-4. Why is it that we, or some, give the excuses to Hurts, where Herbert is missing his 2 tackles and his right guard has become a healthy scratch? So we talk about the offensive line being an issue here, and you can then say Hurts needs to figure out Patullo, Syria, whatever you want to do. I don't care anymore. But when it comes to the Chargers offense, I feel like that excuse is not made for them. Why?
Well, it's hard to say because we're not tuned into Los Angeles Chargers media or anything like that. I also don't listen to any national shows, so I'm not sure. That may be one of the themes that they're running with. But, yeah, it's kind of curious because,
they're missing both tackles and their right guard's a healthy scratch.
Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater are phenomenal tackles.
Correct. Right.
And if they were healthy, you're looking at a team that could have Super Bowl aspirations. I think they're that good and make that big of a difference because you look at what they're doing defensively and then offensively with Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey, Oronde Gadsden II, their tight end. Quentin Johnston is sort of coming into his own a little bit.
Because he's actually catching the ball.
Yeah,
that was his issue last year. He dropsies, man.
And then they have Omarion Hampton possibly coming back this week, their rookie running back out of UNC. So, yeah, I mean, if they have those 2 tackles, you're talking about a team that can make some serious headway.
And I'm calling out, like, us here locally. Like, we go, Hurts, he's got all this.
Yeah.
But,
they're getting a lot of – there is one of the storylines that is talked about a lot in sports radio there is that they believe – he has put handcuffs on that offense, that Harbaugh has put too many handcuffs on that offense, that he's way too conservative and offensive.
Well, and he likes that. But again,
he does like
2
that.
tackles out. And,
right. Now,
and by the way, Mekhi Becton is not playing well for them.
Yeah, he's a healthy scratch. Right?
And
he
he's
didn't play
gone
last
public
week.
with his complaints,
which
Harbaugh hates.
Yeah, I think they benched him at least for a series or 2.
Yeah, so I just wanted, it's the conversation's different. When we talk Hurts-Herbert preseason, it's, well, if Herbert had all those guys, right? But now it's Herbert doesn't get that excuse, and I wonder why. That's all.
Yeah.
I just wonder why. All right, what do we got on the text line, Connor? At 610-632-0975. We're doing the evaluation of Jalen Hurts today. What do we got?
This texter is not all that high on Jalen Hurts. Eric says, guys, Hurts played out of his mind in the Super Bowl. So did Nick Foles. You're beating a dead horse trying to prove a point about Patullo. If Hurts really is a top 15 quarterback, that speaks more about the overall pathetic play of the QBs in the league. So clearly not big on
Not a big Jalen Hurts fan. So what I keep on saying is I watched Jalen Hurts last year against the Kansas City Chiefs when the Chiefs sold out to stop the run play well to the point where he won Super Bowl MVP.
Play well. I mean, he was
You could debate.
He was out of his
You could
mind.
debate if Josh Sweat should have won it or not, but Jalen Hurts won Super Bowl MVP. This year,
Did you get a vote in that, by the way?
I did not, but I would have voted for Josh Sweat.
You would have voted Josh Sweat.
Josh Sweat had a huge impact when the game was still very much
when it was a
hanging
game,
in the balance.
right?
Yeah.
This year, defenses are doing whatever they can to sell out to stop the run, and the passing attack has, at times, been non-existent. Right, like we've seen. How many times have we mentioned spurts? Right,
Right.
But
Yeah,
we're in December. Like I'm done with spurts. Like
Yeah.
I need to see a consistent.
Well, you should.
game.
Yeah, everybody should be done with the spurts. You need to be able to see quarter 1 to quarter 4 sustainable production, something that you can hang your hat on. You're not seeing that to this point, so it is concerning.
So, like, what happened? Like the Cowboys game, right? We saw a half where it was tremendous, right?
Mm-hmm.
They put up 21 points, and then they just went dead again in the second half.
Yeah, I don't think that they have an answer for that because it sounds simple enough, but if they did, they would be able to have that to roll out that offense every single week. I think a lot is made about halftime adjustments. There's not enough time to be able to implement those, but I think a lot of it may have to do with in-game adjusting to how defenses are playing you. And that again, that there's shared
Right.
criticism.
That's
for
been
that.
a struggle for everybody, right? Like the Cowboys switched to a 5-man front, and it's like, don't know how to beat this.
Like I know earlier in the season there were teams that were setting a lot of pressure at Jalen, and Jalen was in control of that.
Yeah.
And they weren't able to rattle him in any way. Then in the second half, they come out and they're dropping guys into coverage, extra guys into coverage, and that's where he started to struggle. So there are certain things you could look at over the course of the season and say, oh, I understand what happened there, but in terms of the Dallas game, I couldn't answer that.
All right. Number 35, late 2010s, early 2020s, La Tech.
Wait, say it again.
Number 35.
Oh, Boston Scott.
Hey,
Oh, my gosh, great job.
I'm all over the place with these.
Yeah, you are.
4-1. You have not even had a guess. Here's what I'm gonna.
I guess Brian Westbrook for
Game-
the 5 Syracuse one.
Game show host rules. I'm gonna let Connor go first on
Okay.
this one. All right. And
This is where I get you.
You have 5 seconds.
And then
And if you
popcorn
can't
to
get
me?
it-
All right.
All right. Number 14. You ain't getting this. Early 2000s. Oregon.
Oh, no, not Chad Hall was there first.
I
No,
know.
it's
5, 4.
damn it. I don't
3.
have it.
AJ Field.
That is correct.
Yeah. Wait. Oh yeah, you don't give position, do you? I was thinking wide receiver.
I did give position.
I don't know, bro.
AJ
I'm not
Field,
good at
who's-
this.
Number, years.
AJ
era,
Philly, who
and
could be
college.
listening right now to the show.
I am strongly on the record. Numbers don't work with my brain.
What about
I'm
colleges?
a words guy. I'm not a numbers
about
guy.
eras?
No, once you say numbers, my brain stops working.
It is 5-1. As predicted, Andrew DeCecco will win this contest.
Sorry, Johnny. I'm letting you down a little bit.
It's all right.
All right,
all right.
coming up next, Eagles got crushed on the ground last week. How banged up is Jalen Carter? Vic Fangio spoke on it. We'll get to Checo's thoughts on it next. It is Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The Eagles trying to figure things out before Monday night. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Birds are back to work as they prepare for the Chargers. Another primetime matchup Monday night in L.A., and the coordinators met with media yesterday. And, of course, a lot of questions were asked of Kevin Patullo, who's in charge of an offense that has not met standard yet this year. But how long will he be in charge of that offense? He was asked that question himself.
Nick has said you're still calling play. In terms of the way that you approach that role and the game planning of it, any of the responsibilities that you do or maybe delegate, have you changed any of those things?
No, I'm still calling the plays.
Yeah, once you're asked about whether or not you're still calling the plays, that's a pretty good indicator things are not going well. But, hey, the Eagles have a chance to bounce back on Monday night. There will not be any additions on the defensive side of the ball. Darius Slay, who became available after splitting with the Steelers, was claimed by the Bills yesterday. Nick Sirianni meets with the media coming up at 12:10. Flyers won 5-2 over the Sabres last night. Another nice victory by them. They're 15-8-3. They're off until Sunday. Sixers are back on the court at home as they host the Warriors tonight. 7 p.m. tip-off for that game. You can hear it live here on The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole department inside of your Macy's store where you can find so many holiday essentials, all for under $25. Don't wait. Find a location at Macy'sBackstage.com. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
6 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5. The Fanatic, Andrew DeCecco with us for the remainder of the show today. As you can imagine, we're talking some Eagles, but I'm going to grab the steering wheel and take us off the highway real quick. A hard right-hand turn here. Explain to me why somebody would do this. Our old program director, Matt Nahagan, used to always say, what was the upside of saying that? Right?
Okay.
What was the upside?
What was the upside, right? Do you know the name Jackie Vernon?
Yeah.
Jackie Vernon was the voice of Frosty the Snowman.
I know that
in
name.
the old cartoons back in the 60s, and he was in the Rudolph shows and all as the Snowman, right?
I think his name comes up on the graphic.
I'm sure it does. Yeah, that's probably why you remember it.
Yes.
So Jackie's no longer with us and has been no longer with us since 1987. It's been some time. Passed away at the age of 63.
Ooh.
His son did a radio interview it's on Nostalgia Tonight with Joe Sibilia.
Okay.
And his son David decided to let the world know that Jackie had 2 separate families on the side.
What?
So he had his wife Hazel and their children, but then he also had 2 other families.
Oh, wow.
And I just wonder,
why say that?
Why now?
Why would you do that?
40 years later?
Yeah, why are you doing that, man? I'm just gonna guess that the interviewer, Jack Sabalia, was not like, hey,
okay,
tell me about your dad's side pieces.
Why would he
and
do
if he
that?
had any?
Why would he do that?
How does that even come up?
Yeah, if you're seeking attention and you want to be in the headlines.
That's my guess.
But you're going to throw your father under the bus?
Some people will do that if it means they'll get the attention that they're starved for.
Oh my gosh!
He was married to everybody, but it was all.
He was.
It was all. They kept it a secret.
Was he famous? Was this guy famous? I don't know.
He's Frosty the Snowman. That's a big deal.
No, that couldn't have been famous.
Listen, a successful voiceover career and 2 families, I need that guy scheduled in my life because I got no time.
I just why are you doing this?
My guess is that David was looking to try and
get a little
end up in the news a little bit.
How did somebody
mission accomplished?
Okay,
himself.
is this David guy? Is he in any way famous himself?
Let me see here. Let me go to Jackie's
is he famous?
Wikipedia page, which they're going to have to update now because we found out that big
That's
news.
a terrible thing to do.
I don't see anything about David Vernon.
Yeah, he's trying to end up on U.S. Weekly or something.
Right.
That's terrible. That's a terrible thing to do to your father.
Yeah, I just
or your father's memory. What a oh man, I almost said something I shouldn't have said. That's terrible.
If this is the same guy, there is a David Vernon who is an LA-based producer and screenwriter.
Well, then that could be it. So he probably used Dad's name to get into the business, and now he's trashing Dad.
He wasn't saying it in a trashing way. It was just like, hey, you want me?
No, you don't have to say that story about your dad.
Let me tell you guys a story.
You don't have to say that story about your father.
Just don't say it.
That's horrible.
Now a girl I went to college with at Temple, she had her dad, and it's public knowledge, her dad faked his death and got away with it for quite a few years. Yeah, I mean, and she did not know because I knew her then. He pretended to go scuba diving in the islands and died scuba diving.
What, he owe somebody money? Like what?
Nah, he was trying to get out of an indictment or something, and then was found to be alive.
Oh my God.
That's a horrible thing. But it was found.
That's horrible.
That's a terrible thing.
What are we doing here?
I can't believe it. I mean, Dad does that. That's bad. But I mean, that's terrible.
Man,
I feel that. I could go for some good off-the-grid time if the Eagles lose Monday night.
Hey, we'll see. You're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN,
Andrew may never come home from L.A.
HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, Power and Possibilities. All right, so Jalen Carter, Vic Fangio, we'll play the clip for you. Jalen Carter's been dealing with this shoulder injury since before the season started. This was Vic. You'll hear from Vic Fangio here momentarily when he was speaking to the media about this yesterday. And he was asked about the shoulder. This was his answer.
Yeah, he does have a shoulder issue. He's been playing with it. Late in the game, he had a great play with it. But, yeah, it's definitely something there.
How bad is it?
Well, I mean, we won't know until we, practice today, and we'll have to see how that progresses. But he did have that earlier in the season, and it's something that obviously he's playing through, but it was very evident in that Chicago game. That was probably the worst game I saw Jalen Carter play in his career. He was getting washed down in the run game. You don't ever see that. Right. He's just a power player in the middle of that defensive line. So obviously it was impacting him quite a bit. And he even said after the game in the locker room that cryptically, mysteriously, if you will, that, I'm dealing with something, but he didn't want to expand on it, and he didn't resort to excuse making either. But that's what's kind of spawned the curiosity there as to, is he dealing with something? And yeah, I mean, the shoulder. Vic Fangio
if it's still going on,
the answers to the test.
Is this a potential? We find out Jalen Carter had off-season surgery. Like, obviously, we don't want to speculate that kind of stuff.
Could be though.
Is it impacting his play so much? Was the Bears sort of a one-off? Like, do you think he'll be better Monday night in a test where you're going to be going up against a ground and pound team, even though they're missing a lot of their linemen?
That was actually something that I believe he had in training camp as well.
Right.
It's probably going to be something that flares up here and there, depending on certain movements or matchups or game plans, where all of a sudden you have to worry about disengaging and certain styles of play. Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna. I don't know that it's magically gonna get better, but you may start to see more of a rotation there at defensive tackle, which includes Ty Robinson, who's been inactive. You saw Byron Young play 38 snaps.
Yeah.
They're trying to, and when you play 87 defensive snaps, that's what has to happen.
Right.
But Jalen Carter still played 61 of the 87 defensive snaps. He was still out there, wasn't effective, but he was still trying to gut it out. And even Vic Fangio, in one of his answers yesterday, said he made a really great play late in that game. So I do believe that it's going to be kind of touch and go.
So when you were I'm sorry, Connor. When you were seeing it, when you were seeing in your eyes in real time, were you going, something's not right?
Yes.
Or were you saying, okay.
Yes.
So you were seeing it that way.
Because Jalen Carter doesn't get moved like that. He's the interior disruptor.
So you said earlier that the health thing on the offensive line, that narrative that's built up is a little bit overstated in your opinion. But
Yeah.
being around the team, do you get the feeling that they're worn down from the Super Bowl road last year?
I think it's fair to say that style of play. Look, Saquon Barkley touched the ball 482 times last season, and the offensive line had to pave the way. And they were, truck-sized holes on I-95 that they were paving. And I think that kind of attrition just wears you down. But I think a lot of the health, you hear the health of the offensive line thrown around a lot, and there's validity to that. But I think there's also other layers to it. They're just not playing as well as they were last season.
I mean, even the team in general, too, not just the offensive line. Yeah, because it just feels like with a young defense, we hear all the time, it takes time for guys to get used to the NFL schedule. You had a lot of young guys that had to play a long time. Do they just feel like a tired team?
Not to me.
Okay.
No, I don't think that has anything to do with it.
All right, what do you make of Ty Robinson? Because he has been active a few games this year, but mainly has not been.
Yeah, he's played probably less than a dozen snaps this year.
Yeah.
On defense.
So, I mean, I was excited for him when they drafted him. I was. I'm not going to.
I was absolutely
and tell you that I thought he was going to be, Jalen Carter
vanilla
2.0.
gorilla.
But he hasn't really been able to play. And Vic Fangio will tell you the best guys play, right? So there's clearly a reason why he has not been playing. Maybe Vic Fangio does not think he's ready just yet. So what have you made of Ty Robinson? What have you made of him not playing and, of course, eventually getting into the rotation?
I mean, even in week one, if you remember, Gabe Hall played about 5 defensive snaps. He was ahead of Ty Robinson in the equation. Vic Fangio is going to play who he feels is best suited to, go out there and give you quality snaps. Now, Ty Robinson had a quiet summer. There were certain plays in the preseason that, to me, suggested that he still needs time to develop. When he struggled with power players at the point of attack from the interiors. There's some times where he got a little high coming out of his stance and things like that. Stuff you can work around, you could teach. But also there's the sentiment that Vic Fangio doesn't implement a lot of defensive linemen in general. There was one time he talked about in San Francisco, I believe it was in 2012, where he only went with 3 edge rushers. That's not sustainable. That's not something you typically see. But even from the interior defensive line, there's not a whole lot of variance there which is why you see typically 4 linemen active. But Ty Robinson, to help alleviate some of the burden from Jalen Carter, you may have to see them go a little heavier there on game day.
All right, and then safety. Are we seeing Marcus Epps out there?
I think so, yeah.
Starting?
Yeah, starting.
I can't wait to see your practice report on this one.
Yeah.
What you're hearing and what you're seeing.
Because Vic Fangio said yesterday yes to the first 2 questions, that he believes that he'll be ready and that he is in contention to start. Now, we're going to learn a lot more, to your point, John, this week in practice as to what capacity he's out there and how quickly he's able to kind of immerse himself back into it. But this is a guy who started 17 regular season games and all postseason contests for the 2022 Eagles, including that Super Bowl in Glendale, Arizona. So he does have quite a bit of experience.
What does that tell you about Sidney Brown?
And that was the one game, and there was a lot of plays that he, in tackling, in coverage. But, Vic Fangio isn't someone who's going to keep rolling something out if it's not working. He's going to try and shake things up. When you have an experienced player in Marcus Epps who started a lot of games in this league, I think that kind of is a nice safety net to have.
I think a lot of people fell in love with him playing at 1,000 miles per hour, and then they realized
he's fun to watch on special teams because he's twitchy, he's aggressive, and
I've always talked about
he's not
his
injuring his own
punch.
players.
I've always talked about his angles at tackles. It's horrible. It's because he's going 1,000,000 miles per hour, and then he goes, "Oh, this guy shifted a little bit. I missed."
But it's tough to put somebody back there that's going to be a high variance type of player, and that's something I talked about in the summer. You have to be fundamentally sound and play within Vic Fangio's structure, and that's something that Marcus Epps can and will do.
Yep. All right, coming up next, John Kincaid's mind was blown with something I said yesterday during post-show headlines. We talked about it earlier today. I'm curious where Andrew DeCecco comes in on this. It is Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, let's talk about your house. Do you have any uneven concrete surfaces, such as sidewalks, driveways, patios? If so, this is a serious tripping hazard. I see it all around my neighborhood. My neighborhood was a bit of a forest, and then they built the houses in, but they did not want to tear down all of the trees, right? And I think that's beautiful. I like that. I like the shade. It's nice. But the trees, the roots continue to grow, and there are a lot of areas in my neighborhood where the sidewalk has been raised because of the roots. It's time to schedule Groundworks to come on out and address the problem. Repairing these areas reduces the risk of injuries for family members, guests, and people walking by, especially right now during the holiday season. A lot of houses have the beautiful lights on the house, so people might be staring at the house and not where they're walking, and all of a sudden they trip, and God forbid you have a sue-happy neighbor. Groundworks Concrete Lifting Solution is here to save the day by keeping your family and neighbors safe from tripping hazards, and of course, added bonus, your house looking great. Schedule a free visit with Groundworks' team of experts by going to groundworks.com. That's groundworks.com. Groundworks, there's a reason why they're the trusted local experts.
Final hour of Kincade and Salciunas is presented to you by The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. You need details? Go to Bagster.com.
All right. So yesterday, post-show headlines, something that we do every single day, except for today because I got to get out of here. Every single day after the show, John and I do like a 10 to 15-minute video with random topics, right? Sometimes it's specific to the Eagles if it's a Friday before an Eagles game, a Monday after an Eagles game. But, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we get to get a little bit more creative, talk about things that we may not always talk about on the air. And also, we do the listener setting questions, which is a lot of fun as well. So if you can be a part of it, check it out. Kincade and Salciunas post-show headlines on our YouTube feed every single day. So yesterday.
And Connor will be in for you today.
Yes, because I got to get out of here.
We're going to the bullpen.
Yeah. Got to get out of here.
Because of your procrastination.
Yesterday, John was watching. He watched the Hard. Did you watch the Hard Knocks?
Yeah.
All right. So, John, I want you to explain to Andrew. We won't play the entire audio, but explain to Andrew one of your takeaways that you got from watching Hard Knocks.
Like any one of them?
No, what led to the mind-blowing.
I just thought it was I would say, low energy looking team in the clips that they showed.
For across the board?
Yeah, low energy. From the meeting rooms to the interactions on the sidelines to everything, and then they contrasted it to Dallas. And Dallas was loud.
They were.
The Eagles were quiet. Dallas was loud. And to me, I took that as Schottenheimer has Dallas loose. Eagles seem quieter, tighter.
I look at the Cowboys, and they came off really well in that first episode.
Sure.
Brian Schottenheimer pressing all the right buttons. They had the turkey leg in the locker room and things like that. I think a lot of it, and my read on this, John, was more so that they're still alive. And I think that they keep – there's an excitement there that they keep winning. And you see a head coach like Brian Schottenheimer and his message is resonating, and no one's quitting, and they're finding ways to win football games. And I think that's why there's a lot of excitement, because they were, for all intents and purposes, a few weeks ago, they were out of it.
So they were dead.
But I think they're starting to I think they are believing in what they're doing.
They win tonight.
In their process.
Conversation.
I think they're going.
More than alive.
I think they're going to win the night.
And now the conversation changes
Detroit's
drastically in the NFC East, which is crazy. So when John was saying this, I immediately stopped him. I said, I know why, or at least I have a feeling why. I'll go back to August when they made it very clear that they weren't like the Super Bowl champions, right? That was last year, right? This is this year. Canceling Victory Monday, I understand why, because they were not happy with the way they were playing, but that's like a sacred, you won the football. You still won the war.
Right.
Right? Regardless of how bad, we can complain about 10-7 against Green Bay and Lambeau all we want. They won that war, right? To me, canceling Victory Monday is like, yeah, dude, what are you doing, man? I almost feel like they've zapped out any of the energy of we are the defending Super Bowl champions. And I believe, just a sense, you're in the locker room, so you can talk on it completely different. This is me, a guy from down the road. I almost feel like it impacted them a little bit, because in 2023, it was, man, we lost that Super Bowl. We got to get back there. Jalen's got the damn screensaver of him with the Chiefs confetti, and it's Jeff McClain saying it's the most miserable 10-1 team he's ever been around. Tim McManus saying that it was as if somebody's dog just died every single day. I kind of feel like that's going on this time, even though they won the Super Bowl, because they refuse to acknowledge it. They've compressed their emotions.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite like that. I mean, Jordan Davis is someone who brings a lot of energy. Sure. Whether he's putting clothespins on teammates, you could kind of see the videos on social media. I often see a lot of different, whether it's wide receivers talking to defensive backs and things like that. I just think that there's more of a business-like approach for the Philadelphia Eagles, who have been there before. They know what's required. After games, there's music playing there in the locker room, they're having fun. Not to the degree of a Cowboys team, but
Ben Johnson ripping his shirt off after the win.
But to your point, those are teams that haven't been there before. So they're just sort of basking in the glow. They're enjoying the moment. Now, I think that there are you can make compromises, right? I think you could still be a little loose and have some fun and not be
I feel like
afraid
it's
to let your
too
personality
business.
show.
I feel like it's too business. Like the Phillies last year. The Phillies were too business. It was, hey, don't throw your helmet. Don't do this. It was like, you got a 162-game season. Like you got to let it breathe a little bit. You got to let loose. I think back to the Chiefs on Christmas last year when they won, and I get it. The Eagles. Somebody reminded me that the Eagles beat them in the Super Bowl. Wow, the Chiefs.
Isn't that shocking? Yes.
Chiefs finally lost.
Those bums, those Chiefs.
When they won on Christmas Day, you had Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce wearing the Santa jackets, running into the locker room. Like, I don't see any of that. Like,
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah. Here.
Why? Is it what Nick wants? Is like, I understand that Jalen's not Mr. like rah-rah, right? Like, it's let's go win the football game.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is derived from the leadership. Jalen Hurts, very stoic, businesslike. And Devontae Smith, same way. Like a lot of the preeminent players on this team have a business-like approach to them. And if you can kind of go down the list. Quinyon Mitchell, he's another one.
Right. But hasn't that negatively impacted them before to the point where Brandon Graham, according to Jay Glazer last year, BG and Big Dom had to go to Jalen's house and be like, yeah, dude, you got to lighten up a little bit. Like, it almost feels like sometimes the Super Bowl was last year. Oh, it's banner night?
The whole banner night thing
no idea it was banner night.
The whole banner night thing was, to me, was ignorant.
I said, and I remember I compared him to, who's the golfer? I don't have fun.
Scotty Scheffler.
Yes. I don't have fun with these
winning my
wins
$1 million
anymore.
pots from winning golf because I have to play again next week. And it's like, I don't want these guys 20 years from now going, damn, I really wish I enjoyed it more at the time. I feel like they're adding their own pressure, trying to ignore the fact that they're the freaking champs.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting way to look at it. That's not the sense that I get, but I can just tell you that we just named some of the key players on this team, and none of them have that personality, right? I mean, you could think back to Eagles teams in the past. Jason Kelce had that personality.
Right.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson had that personality. But I think there's an authenticity with this team where they're not forcing themselves to be something that they're not. They're not going to be wearing a Santa hat or doing anything like that.
Yeah, but I got Nick Sirianni jumping on a bench going, this is for Frank! And then he won't acknowledge that he's the freaking champ.
The thing is, when you say authenticity, though, I think that's authenticity with the Chiefs guys doing that.
It is.
That's who they are.
It is, but this is who the Eagles
And the thing is, though, I think that makes them much more loose. And
I just think they get tense.
When these guys get tense because they put so much pressure on themselves.
Right, but they were like that. They were like that last year too. They were like this, and it worked out all right for them.
They were hungry dogs running fast.
Oh, the Patriots.
Well, that was
did it for
2017.
20 years.
That was 20.
All right, coming up next, John Kincade.
I'm going to make every Eagles fan feel better, Andrew.
He's going to read us a bedtime story.
Every Eagles fan is going to feel better because it is a ghost of Christmas past story.
All right, we'll hear that next. It is Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Eagles dealing with the criticism. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Birds are working through some issues as they prepare for their Monday night matchup with the Chargers in L.A. 2 straight losses will do that to you, and it will lead to criticism of everybody, including the offensive coordinator. Coordinators met with media yesterday, and Kevin Patullo talked about how that criticism affects coaches in the NFL.
You know the pressure's there, but we all accept it because we ultimately want to be at the highest part of our coaching career and continue to working through that. And this is part of it. It's a challenge, and so it's very unique and it's fun.
We'll see if the Eagles are up to that challenge on Monday night. There won't be any new players on defense via the waiver claim. Darius Slay, who was available on waivers, was claimed by the Bills yesterday. Nick Sirianni will meet with the media coming up today at 12:10. Flyers with a strong performance over the Buffalo Sabres last night, a 5-2 victory, and at 15-8-3. They're now up to third place in the Metro. Look out for those Flyboys. They're making a run. They're off until Sunday. The Sixers are back on the court at home as they host the Warriors tonight. A 7 p.m. tip-off for that game, and you can hear it live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Despite wintry conditions and heavy traffic, holidays must go on. That's why Mercedes-Benz SUVs come with the latest safety technology. Find incredible offers at the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, it's 9:26 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Andrew doesn't think I'm crazy, which is good.
No, he thinks you're crazy, but just not about this.
Not about this. They need to loosen up. What's the story that everyone talks about in 1980 Super Bowl? Right, Eagles Raiders.
Oh, they were tight.
Eagles.
They were so tight.
They were in the hotel room, and the Raiders were on Bourbon Street.
Coach Vermeil kept them in, and the Raiders were out till all hours of the night, even the night before.
Yeah, and who won?
Oh, it was third play of the game.
All right,
interception.
So John Kincaid's going to read us a bedtime story.
Yes.
I don't know where he's going at with this.
It's like, well, can I give you one number before we start the Christmas tale?
Sure.
And I want it to be for everybody who's a little tense about tonight's game too, as we talk about it. It's been 56 games is the number you just want to think about tonight. 56 games. Do you know what that number means?
Since the Eagles lost 3 straight.
Nope.
No, it's about Detroit, he said.
56
Detroit,
games. 56 games since Dan Campbell has lost 2 straight.
Oh, I was kind of close.
56 games.
That's a positive.
Since Dan Campbell has lost 2 straight. By the way,
what you're saying is he's due.
That puts him in one of the all-time great categories as a head coach.
All right.
56 games.
Hopefully that streak doesn't end
2 in a row
tonight.
By the way, the Eagles have done that twice in the past 2 months.
All right. I wanted. I don't even know what he's saying, but
Okay.
I wanted music for it.
Here comes the Christmas story.
So I got the instrumental version.
And
one of my favorites, The Temptations.
Oh, there we go.
Silent Night. I know you're not a big
Here you
Christmas
go.
music guy, but it's
No.
The
Here we go.
Temptations, dude. Go ahead, John.
We spent a lot of time reflecting on this Philadelphia Eagles team and talking about whether this year is like the collapse of the 2023 season and how bad that 2023 collapse was, and if we're seeing it all over again. And you know what we may be seeing? You're right, guys. We may be seeing the 2023 season all over again. But I'm going to make you feel better about it. We may be seeing it. Because the Eagles, that 2023 season was really, really bad for them. But there was a defending champion in the 2023 season who somehow managed to make it a really, really good season. They started out 6-1. And then they proceeded to go 3-5. Half of their season ended up in the crapper in an 8-game stretch, averaging less than 17 points a game. The Super Bowl champions averaged less than 17 points a game, going 3-5. Losing at home to Detroit, Philadelphia, Buffalo, and Las Vegas on Christmas Day on a nationally televised game to drop their record to 9-6. In their losses leading up to that Christmas Day, the Super Bowl champions, the defending champs, averaged just 16 points a game in their losses. 20 points, 9 points, 17 points, 19 points, 17 and 14. The Kansas City headlines the day after Christmas. The day after Christmas, so December 26th. Today is just December 4th here in Philadelphia for the defending champs. The dream is over. The final coal in the stocking. And thanks for the memories. That was the day after Christmas 2023 in Kansas City for a team with far greater pedigree even. That was 9-6, dead in the water, defending Super Bowl champions, offense horrible. Then they got to the playoffs, and the offense didn't get much better. They only averaged 23 points a game in the playoffs. They didn't get much better. But their defense stood up, allowing just 16 points a game, and they rode it to a Super Bowl championship. So all I say to you is, yes, we talk a lot about 2023. Is this season like 2023 for the Eagles? Well, guess what? This season may be like 2023 for the Eagles. It could be exactly like 2023 was for the Chiefs.
All right. That was a good story. Did
That's
Dr. Seuss write that?
That's a damn good story. And in fact, the Eagles are better in almost every category. Almost every category.
My one pushback or couple, Mahomes.
Mahomes, you mean who's been outplayed by our quarterback?
Yeah.
And our coach
Mahomes
who has outcoached Andy Reid the last 4 times they've met head to head.
They got to get there first.
No. I'm just saying it is. Don't give me Reid and Mahomes because Reid and Mahomes have been beaten by Sirianni and Hurts 4 times in a row. That's all I'm saying.
I liked it.
That's all I'm saying.
I hope it helps.
If everybody's going to talk about 2023, I want you to remember what the defending Super Bowl champs look like on Christmas Day of 2023. They walked off the field 9-6, and their own media, their own fan base, the dream is over. The final coal in the stocking. Thanks for the memories. The Kansas City Chiefs should have said F you to their own fan base, to their own sports media, screw you people. You gave up on us. Don't give up, folks. Don't give up yet.
What did you make of it?
It was good.
I liked it. I thought it was very well written. I hope it comes to fruition.
Do you see parallels or not? Because I always look in his eyes. I look at DeCecco's eyes and wonder, does he see the parallels or not?
Between the Chiefs
2023 Chiefs team that was really a scuffling bunch, and their offense stunk that year. They were terrible. They averaged 16 points a game.
Yeah, and then they revved it up.
And even in the playoffs, they only averaged 23, which is, by the way, the worst for a Super Bowl champion in like 2 decades.
Yeah, I think it's maybe not
direct.
It's not a direct comparison, but you could certainly draw parallels. And I think I talked about the silver lining coming out of that Bears game. I do believe in this defense. That Eagles defense will get it together under Vic Fangio and that personnel that they have. Now, the offense, do I expect them to be as poor and lackluster as they were against the Bears? No. I think probably at their best is what you're going to see from that Vikings game. That Vikings game was probably them at their best when they were throwing the football and they were able to generate some explosive plays. I think that's more or less what you're going to see. They're not going to be this high-octane offense that's going to give you a 30-point game weekly.
All right. Joining us now on the Comcast Business Hotline. Every day in business, big day. Let Comcast Business help you move forward with what's next. We've not talked to him in a little bit because of the holidays with Thanksgiving. But he's going to win us some money. And we got a big game tonight to talk about between the Lions and the Cowboys. You got to check out GBIWins.com. Our man Michael Westwood, he's been in the industry for over 40 years, and he's been killing it. And we have a big one tonight. What side will he be on with the Cowboys and Lions game? As John said earlier, the biggest game of the year in which the Eagles aren't playing in. Our man Michael Westwood joins us. Good morning, Michael.
Johnny Andrew, the legend, the Terminator, is back in town, baby. I was doing some a lot of studying the last 2 weeks, a lot of traveling around the country because the bowl games obviously start December 13th.
Yes.
And last year in the bowls, and I know you know this, my record was 29-6, which is incredible.
You were vicious last year in the bowl games.
We kicked butt last year. But let me backtrack real quick to show some love. I have a lot of clients from Philadelphia, thanks to you guys. I want to thank you for that. But the bottom line is this, don't be like New Yorkers. We're kind of haters. I mean, when we do something, when these quarterbacks or these running backs or the Jets or the Giants, when they do something bad, I'm telling you now, these guys are all over them. So, you know what? The Eagles are having a little bit of trouble right now, but do not count the birds out.
Yes.
Please do not. I know you're not.
Yep.
But just, you know what? They have to listen. I'm telling you right now, they have got to go into L.A. and prove their point on Monday night. And that's the bottom line. Because if they don't, then they might be watching the Super Bowl where the New York Jets and the Giants are watching it from their living room couch.
Well, I love your honesty, and I love that you're saying not to count out the Eagles, especially as a man that wagers on the games a little bit, so we appreciate that. Now let's talk about tonight's game, Michael. The phone number, 1-800-885-2525. That's 1-800-885-2525. It's the free recorded call-in line. And we'll talk about Lions-Cowboys when we call in. Is that correct, Michael?
100%, guys. Listen to me closely, okay? This is the game of the year, okay? Meaning this is the best Thursday night game that you're going to see all year long. Detroit playing Dallas. The game tonight is absolutely incredible, but I've got tremendous, tremendous information on this game, and I'm bringing it with a guarantee to all of my listeners. And I've done this twice this year. My guarantee is if I lose this game tonight, if I do not cover the spread this evening on this Dallas-Detroit battle, I'm going to give the rest of the NFL season and college bowl games for free on me.
Are you out of your mind?
The rest
Are
of
you
the,
out of your mind?
The rest of the season?
Listen, I did it before. I did it twice.
You did do
before.
this.
You saw the game was a winner. Tonight is one of those games. There is no way in hell I am losing this game, okay? Bottom line. The information is rock solid, and I'm going to give it out absolutely free on my free recorded hotline. All you have to do is dial 1-800-885-2525. Again, that's 1-800-885-2525. Your listeners will be connected to my free recorded hotline where you will get the winner of Dallas-Detroit absolutely free and on me with the guarantee, which I'm not going to repeat again because I don't believe in talking negative, but I guarantee that if I lose this game, which I won't, you will get the rest of the NFL and the rest of college for free on me. Dial now, 1-800-885-2525, and let's be a winner together.
That is money where your mouth is. There's nothing else to say for it. That is money where your mouth is. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, look,
There's no doubt about it.
And it's a big game for the Eagles, a big game for the NFC. So over the last couple of weeks, because you were on your hiatus for the holidays, like how much studying have you been doing? Do you start this game 2 weeks out, or do you start this game a couple days before?
No, this game is definitely started 2 weeks out. I mean, this is a key game. Week 14, heading into the NFL. There's a ton of playoff implications for both of these teams. So, again, the studying that we do is incredible. Absolutely incredible. So what you need to understand is that I don't just do this to do this. I do this for a living. I've been doing it for 42 years. And when I give out a free game, the game is going to win. Tonight is one of those games that I am guaranteeing a win. So once again, all you have to do right now is dial 1-800-885-2525. Again, 1-800-885-2525. It's my free recorded hotline. Get the winner of the game tonight. And give us a call tomorrow and get involved with us.
Oh, man, it's a big game tonight. Can't wait to watch it. Michael, good luck, man. 1-800-885-2525 is the number to call in. 1-800-885-2525.
We'll be bragging on you, hopefully.
GBIwins.com, man. You've been doing it for 40-plus years, so good luck tonight.
Andrew and Johnny, thanks again. Once again, I'll speak to you guys next week. Let's win.
Talk to you then. There he is, Michael Westwood.
That's
on
bold.
the Comcast Business Hotline.
That is bold.
Free picks for the rest of the season.
That is very bold. He's loving this. And by the way, he has not lost on those games. So
yeah, he is not disappointed.
I have a feeling I know where he's going.
All right, let's talk a little bit about tonight's game, because this game, if the Cowboys win,
it's going to get dicey around here.
Now what? We'll get into that coming up next.
Or
also,
it's over.
One of the Eagles' biggest supporters, the most decorated NFL player in the history of the game. How does he feel about them now? Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
You know, every day someone in your community needs that second chance. They need that way forward from addiction that has taken so much from their life and kept them from being able to get on the right track. Well, you can help them out. Maybe you've got a used vehicle somewhere on your property. Maybe you got a car, you got a truck, you got a boat, motorcycle, RV. I don't know what it is, but what you can do is you can have that donated. Because if that vehicle has reached the end of the road for you, donate it to the Salvation Army. Because that vehicle can help somebody else rebuild their life. It can help someone else find stability and find hope again. Because the Salvation Army has been changing lives and delivering that hope for nearly 150 years. Your kindness continues to make that possible. Donating is simple. Call 800-SA-TRUCK, Salvation Army. Go to satruck.org and schedule a pickup. They're going to come right to your home. They're going to tow the vehicle at no charge, and they're going to give you an IRS-approved receipt. That used vehicle in your driveway could end up being the turning point in someone else's life. So let's say you got a car, truck, boat, motorcycle, or RV that you're ready to part ways with it. Donate it today. Call 800-SA-TRUCK or visit satruck.org. Help the Salvation Army continue to do the most good.
All right, it is 9:43 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Our man Andrew Pacheco with us has been since 8 o'clock. We appreciate you coming him coming in. We appreciate everybody that's been a part of the show today, either sending in the questions for Andrew or just being a part of the show on YouTube. All right, I'm going to give you a couple more jersey numbers, even though you've run away with it. Like, the game's over.
Yeah, but I want to make the dominance look a little bit more decisive.
He's skunking it.
Don't let it get hot.
So you would, you're like Urban Meyer.
Yeah, I want to pour it on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's Urban Meyer. He's pouring it on the last 3 minutes of the game.
I'll give you two more. Maybe we'll do this again. Number 77, early 2000s.
Memphis? Artis Hicks.
Dude, that's
Oh, my,
awesome.
you
I
bastard.
didn't have to
You
get the
bastard.
damn college.
You bastard.
He started in the Super Bowl in 2004.
The minute 77 in my head, I'm going,
Well, you know why I did that?
Why?
Because you're Mr. Sevens.
Because the 7-7.
So I picked a 7,
My
and I
favorite
picked
number.
a 77,
It's my favorite
thinking
number.
that you would get something out of that.
My favorite number.
All right, one more.
And that's by the way, that is the only reason that I would remember.
He was an
Artis Hicks.
undrafted free agent. He made the Eagles in 2002 with another UDFA, Justin Enna.
That's good work.
Okay, and I wouldn't
Linebacker
remember
out of
that.
BYU. Go
Right
ahead.
now, score is Andrew 6, John and Connor 1, but John was the only one that got it.
Yes.
I get half that point.
All right, late 2010s, number 13, USC.
Oh, Nelson Aguilar.
Very good.
Oh, yeah!
That's my guy. I love Nelly.
All right, Connor, we
I
closed
hated
the
him, but
gap
I loved
there.
him.
We did that for you.
Wait a minute.
You still win, though.
Wait a minute.
Congratulations.
The point spread, though, was Kincade and Thomas plus 5.5. I think we covered.
Oh, so you
Connor.
covered. All right. Well, I
think
mean,
because they expected a skunking.
I could keep going.
No,
If they
we-
don't-
no,
I
you
don't have
gotta
to
move
now.
on.
Don't take the ball from
Yeah,
me now.
Do one more.
Exactly.
Heat check. Late 70s.
I'm gonna come up with a good one. But
There we go.
before we do that, so Tom Brady, does his weekly power rankings now for Fox. We don't have to react to all 10. But the reason why I say that is because the Eagles don't appear. Have the Eagles truly fallen off that much? Forget where they're ranked, who's around them, who jumped them. By the way, he does have the Cowboys at 10. Do you believe the Eagles are outside looking in right now? Like
I'm not there yet.
Okay.
This Monday night game against the Chargers is going to be a measuring stick type of game, and I think that's going to alter the trajectory of the season one way or the other.
All right. Johnny, what about you? Because you always take exception to power rankings and all that kind of stuff.
The Eagles are definitely not out of the top 10 in the NFL.
Okay.
There's no question that they are a top 10 team in the NFL.
I'll just tell you, it's Patriots 1, Broncos 2, Bears 3, Seahawks 4, Packers 5, Rams 6, Buffalo 7, San Fran 8, Jacksonville 9, Dallas 10.
That's ridiculous.
Is there a team that you take exception to?
Yeah, well,
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
And how many of those teams have the Eagles beaten?
Yeah, I mean, again,
but it's also about when you beat them. The Eagles beat the Rams in September.
Okay, they beat all these teams. Though.
Yeah, that's where we always have the problem with the power rankings because we never see eye to eye.
When did they beat the Packers? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, but I was talking about the Rams.
No, I'm saying on that list.
Yes, he does have the Packers.
When did they beat the Packers?
It's a long 2 weeks, though.
2.5 weeks ago? Where did they beat the Packers?
In Lambeau.
Yes, exactly. I mean, for God's sakes.
It's also a week-to-week league.
Yeah.
This is a week-to-week league. The NFL has been a little strange this year.
It has been strange, but when you have the resume of beating all these good teams, you have the best record in the NFL against beating the best teams. Of all the teams in the NFL, of who beats the most of the best teams, it's the Eagles. It's maddening that it does. And then it's like, well, you beat them in September. Well, you did this. Well, you did that.
Well, they did beat the Rams in September.
Yeah.
The Rams have definitely grown
They've
since
gotten
then.
better.
They did,
Yeah.
and then the Rams this week. And again, if you go to LA's losing their mind this week about how bad they looked against the Panthers.
Yes, as they should be.
Well, Bryce Young's grown. I think he's up to 5'6".
By the way, I was really impressed watching Bryce Young.
Yeah, no, I was too.
In that game.
He's got
a little
not a big Bryce Young guy, but I was
I
impressed.
thought Bryce Young looked like he had fallen off a cliff, and now he's looking really good.
All right, I got one more for you. All right. The number 6, mid to sort of back end 2010s. Number 6, he went to Florida.
Caleb Sturgis.
You bugger.
And he's an important man in Eagles franchise history.
When he got hurt, Jake Elliott was signed off the off the Bengals practice squad.
Yep.
And didn't Sturgis blow a big? Didn't he have a bad miss?
No.
Didn't he have a bad? No, he didn't.
Not that I'm aware of. I know he's got like 2 S's at the end of his name, apparently.
Yeah,
No, he doesn't.
Doesn't?
No, you're thinking of Aaron Siposs.
Ah, I get all the kicky guys
I
messed
thought
up.
he had a bad miss.
I mean, he missed
something.
4 field goals in 15 and 6 in 16. So,
Yeah, I thought.
but
he had a bad
they weren't
miss.
playing for much back then.
I don't. Well, I don't care if you're missing that many cakes.
All right, tonight's game. You have the feeling that Dallas goes into Detroit and wins.
I do.
Correct.
I do.
Is that more Lions issues, more Cowboys dominance? Because both teams are going in complete opposite directions.
Yeah, Cowboys dominance. This momentum that they have. The Lions are also likely not going to have Amon-Ra St. Brown. Last time I checked, he's a big piece of their offense. I just think that that's a team that's reeling right now. They lost Terry and Arnold, their corner for the season, and Dallas is playing with a ton of confidence. I love the way George Pickens and Dak Prescott are firing in all cylinders offensively right now. They're on the same page. And then defensively, some of their new additions, whether it's Quinnen Williams, Logan Wilson, DeMarvion Overshone, who's back from injury, they're just adding some more flavor to that defense, and it's sort of reinvigorated that group.
If the Cowboys win,
Oh my God.
you're not a fan, so I'll ask you from the journalistic standpoint. What's tomorrow like when you're looking at the rest of the Cowboys schedule, rest of the Eagles schedule, and you're like, oh damn.
If they win tonight, and it's a big if, you could conceivably say they run the table.
You can.
It's not out of the realm of.
They're going to be favored in every game.
Yeah.
Like,
and they should be based off body of work if they win tonight.
They had them up. They were up 21-0.
They're up. I'm telling you,
They
there's
were
a
up 21. They could have ended. They could have ended the Cowboys season that day.
Yep.
It would have been over. But the thing is, if Detroit beats them tonight, it's over. Their season is over.
Yeah, unless the Eagles go on a horrible spiral.
No, I don't even do the math. I can't do the math that way. I mean, Dallas needs to. This game has to be a win tonight.
I think it's going to be a great game either way, but I do think Dallas comes out on top.
I think it also helps that Dallas is playing in a dome. It's a very similar surface.
Dak's playing at an extremely high level.
I have just had a weird feeling all week, and again, I hate to go with feelings. I've had a weird feeling all week that Detroit cranks it up and wins this game.
Look, we
but
need it.
to your point, you also thought the Eagles were going to win big.
Oh, I
against
did. I did. But my let's put it this way. I'm also 62% against the spread. My calls on the Eagles and the league this year have been pretty accurate.
Yeah, but that was a big miss,
I had a
John.
bad one on Friday.
That was a big miss on
That was
Friday.
a bad one on Friday, but I'm not going to take the anomaly. I'll take the more accuracy over the whole year.
You thought you were benching 225, but it was one of those fake benches.
It was one of those air ones?
Yeah, and you're like man,
You mean like Gilly does? Yeah, that was one of those? Okay.
I don't know what Gilly does. I just know he blows the whistle.
I have no idea.
He blows the whistle.
That's all I know.
Yeah, he does do that.
All right, what do we got in the text line? Sneak in one text message. Then John's going to tell us about life-saving cancer research, and then we're going to talk things out before we leave.
All right, so we got another check-in here on Jalen Hurts, and Chris from Springfield says, part of what makes Jalen an upper echelon QB is his dual threat ability. I think we can all agree that Hurts has not been as much of a factor in the run game this year, which in part could directly relate to the drop in the rankings. Pull the ball out of Saquon's belly and keep it for a run to take all the focus in the game off of Buffalo.
I'll ask you, Andrew, off of that.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here. Playoffs, I would imagine Jalen says, I'll do it.
That's where you put everything aside and you say, I'll do whatever it takes to win. Because that's what he says.
Yeah.
It's all about winning. Do whatever it takes to win. So
maybe
Wasn't
he does
Friday,
the playoffs.
though? Couldn't you say Friday was that?
I think it's Monday.
Wasn't it wasn't Friday considered like that's a game where you have to, especially after that crappy performance in the first half, that you go in the second half? Okay, this is like a playoff game, guys.
Yeah.
Get our heads out of our backsides and
now
do
you
it.
definitely got to do it. You got to do it on Monday.
Stop putting it off.
Yeah, I hear you, John.
Stop putting it off. Call for it and do it. I mean, come on. What are you thinking score-wise tonight?
tonight, I would say we'll say 30 to 27, 24.
That's an over, baby. 54 and a half is the total.
30, 24, 30, 26.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, if I'm staying up, this better be a good game. Because, I mean, seriously, you got to stay up and watch this one.
Hell yeah, man.
It better be a good game. FT Young Heating and Air Conditioning made a donation to the AACR, and you can too. Go to 975thefanatic.com/AACR. The American Association for Cancer Research, because cancer research saves lives.
All right, we got Middays with Marks coming your way next. Jason Martinez is in the house working with Johnny Marks.
He's
today.
not wearing a hat.
Here,
he's got
yeah,
one,
he's
but
got
he's not wearing
got the ski cap. He's got to keep the skin up top cold. Or
Not
warm.
wearing one.
You know, there you go. He's good to go now. All right. He just doesn't want to show off the lettuce. That's all.
I never see him without a hat on.
Andrew, podcast today inside the Birds Buzz, correct?
Yes, that's right.
right.
Right now.
We'll check it out and have a safe trip because you are going to LA. Enjoy yourself. How many days are you going to be there?
Just a couple.
So you got some time to time yourself. All right.
I always go to my spots there on Sunset Boulevard.
I love that. Have fun, man. Middays with Marks comes your way next here on The Fanatic.